Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports. When
It comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
Coach Elko's my guy, right? Like, I love him. I love Michael Early. Like, I think Bucky's going to be incredible.
It's football, man. And that's what Warriors do. They don't want to sit out.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Pass it back to AOB.
All right.
The Association of Former Students Annual Day of Giving Back to support the Aggie Network. This marks the 10th anniversary to Pass It Back. We'll have a lot more of that throughout the program here on the show at the 50s of each hour. So we'll be chatting with those folks. How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. I had a direction I was going to go this morning, and we'll probably still end up going there. But you texted me a question this morning that caught my attention that I thought could be food for thought on the show.
I was wondering if A&M wins at Notre Dame, where would that rank among the best wins in the country this year?
Okay.
Nationally.
So, first off, I think the best from a marquee standpoint is the Ohio State victory over Texas. Like, if you're talking about, rankings and the significance of those wins.
Right.
Okay. I think the Miami victory was huge versus Notre Dame.
But it was
at home.
At Miami.
At home, right. So I don't know how many. And by the way, Ohio State also at home. Okay. I think the LSU victory at Clemson, which each passing week we may have a different opinion of how big that win was, has to be on there because it was on the road.
It has to be on there.
Top 10 win.
But would it be bigger than A&M beating Notre Dame? My question is, I don't care about the wins and losses right now because they would have lost to A&M and Miami. Do you think Notre Dame is better than Clemson?
If they played straight up, yes, I'd take Notre Dame. But I do think they in that scenario again. I do look at the wins and losses at that point. In that scenario, does Clemson win this weekend against Georgia Tech? I think that'll kind of change the way. If they lose to Georgia Tech, that Clemson win doesn't mean anything for LSU, right?
Right. So if A&M was to beat Notre Dame, but Notre Dame wins the next several games, does that change? Or how do you project? Who do you project to have more wins at the end of the year?
Well, how about South Florida? Their wins.
Right. But who have they've beaten Boise and they've beaten
at the time
Florida.
The top 15 Florida.
Right. And those are great upsets and very good wins, but ultimately is beating Florida a bigger win than beating Notre Dame?
At this rate, because I'm going to project, if A&M beats Notre Dame, at worst, Notre Dame is 9-3.
I agree.
Okay. Florida, at worst, could be a very bad team. Because this stretch right here, there's the Notre Dame schedule, but if we look at the Florida schedule, this stretch right here, they might go on a 5-game losing streak.
It's possible. It's possible.
Right? And I'm not necessarily predicting that. I would not be surprised. Actually, I would probably be surprised winning at Baton Rouge. Do we know if that's a night game?
I believe it is.
Yeah, I actually would be surprised. But before they lost to South Florida, I'd be like, that could be a game.
Yeah, and it still could. As long as they don't throw a shoe or spit on somebody.
Right.
Talking about Florida. Seems like they do something stupid. I mean, monumentally stupid.
Regardless of who the coach is.
Regardless of who.
Because Dan Mullen had that too. And
right. It's just a Florida thing, I guess.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. How will the country, not us, how will the country look at A&M beating Notre Dame? Because I think people will be like, Notre Dame ain't as good as they were last year.
Well, they're probably not. But I think it'll be varied because there'll be those that'll say, "Hey, Notre Dame, again, they lost by 3 on the road at Miami, and A&M's obviously a good and rising team, and Notre Dame's going to go in at least 9-3.
Yeah,
and then there are those that'll say, "See, A&M hadn't even beaten anybody because Notre Dame they're 0-2. Yeah, they're 0-2 because they haven't played it in that situation or in that scenario. They're 0-2 because they haven't played an FCS opponent or a mid-major yet. They played good teams.
Now, let's say the caliber of victory. You win a nail biter, it's going to feel great. You go in there and you wreck shop, and you win by double digits.
I think, first of all, I'd love to see them win by double digits. Okay? I think from the national perspective, they would be better served
winning a close game.
Yeah. Because then you say, look how good Notre Dame is. They're only 6 points away from being
2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
But if you go out there now, that said, I hope A&M boat races them. I know they're not, or I don't think they will. But I'd love to see that so I could get my article written early and there's no stress and everybody's happy. Of course, you'd like that.
I'm trying to think. When was the last time A&M boat raced? I guess Missouri last year, a quality opponent.
Yeah, Missouri. Yeah, and it took them a while to get the boat in the water against LSU.
This is true.
But once they got the boat in the water, they raced.
They certainly did.
It's like one of those big airboats that they have in Louisiana.
Well, based on what Coach Elko said yesterday, A&M should be at full strength for this game, at least with some very important offensive positions. Trey Zune and Marcel Reed, I think the word he used, they're fine.
They're fine. Ready to go. And that's good because they're going to need them both. Those two are your best players. Arguably, I'm not so sure if it's 100%, but arguably their best two offensive players.
Definitely in the top 5.
Without a doubt.
Now, I think Marcel, I don't remember, Nick can fact check me on this. Was Marcel 6 on our 25 and 25, which by the way was a combination of your votes, my votes, Billy's votes, and the subscriber votes. But I believe he was not in the top 5. The way he's playing,
you're correct. He was number 6.
Number 6. The way he's playing right now, he is absolutely, in my opinion, absolutely top 5.
Right now, and definitely on offense. But of course, you'd have to factor in KC and Mario, but that's why I say arguably your best 2 offensive players. So yeah, you're going to need them. I don't know if they're going to win in South Bend, but if they do, that you could make an argument. I'm not saying I would make the argument, but the argument could be made that an A&M win over Notre Dame at Notre Dame, that's the key. An A&M win at Notre Dame could be the most impressive win of the season through 3 games. I'm not necessarily saying I would make that argument.
But if Tennessee, which by the way, they're at home, beats Georgia this weekend, that game would...
At Tennessee.
At Tennessee, yeah.
Who's better, Georgia or Notre Dame?
I think Georgia.
I thought that last year, too, before they actually played. And then, I know, things are different. Georgia...
Carson Beck didn't play.
Georgia, and he's not playing in this game either.
Yeah, I know.
Georgia struggled with Austin Peay.
But then an outsider would say Texas A&M struggled with UTSA.
Did they?
I mean, it was a 7-point game early in the third quarter.
Yeah, but it's still 28. I think that was 28-6 Austin Peay, and at least UTSA is not an FCS opponent.
Yeah.
So again, we're just what do you call it? Splitting hairs. Splitting hairs. I would still say probably it's no higher an A&M win at Notre Dame. Off the top of my head, I would think I'd rank it 3rd, depending on...
Because Ohio State's your number 1.
Ohio State beating Texas would be
beating
1.
The number 1 team in the country's got to be it.
And then Florida State beating Alabama would probably be 2. And I'd put a win over A&M, a win over Notre Dame. I would put that ahead of LSU beating Clemson because I think Notre Dame's probably better than Clemson.
And they both might not be good.
There's that, too.
But I think regardless, Notre Dame will look better at the end of the year, partially because of the rest of their schedule.
Yeah, because it's in the ACC. They play so many ACC games.
Yeah.
But Clemson even plays more.
This is true. And they're in the ACC. Let's hear from Coach Elko yesterday because I think it's an interesting the way we look at this game because we go back to last year's game, right? We go back. That was a brand new team for A&M. Mm-hmm. Not really a brand new team for Notre Dame this year because, yes, they have a new offensive and defensive. New defensive coordinator, but not a brand new offensive coordinator. New quarterback. It's pretty much the same team offensively. But what are the parallels between last year's team from Notre Dame and this year's?
Schemes are similar. I think, they're pretty well entrenched in who they are and what they do. We're pretty well entrenched in who we are and what we do. And so that's always an exciting chess match when you go into a game like that and the other team. I think last year there was a lot more unknown. It was Coach Denbrock's first game there as an OC, and we didn't know exactly what it would all look like. It was our first game as a staff. And so I think there's a little bit more of that chess match that will go on, and that's always interesting. I think that's kind of where it starts.
To me, we knew that Jeremiah Love was going to be really good and Le'Veon Moss was going to be really good, but we didn't know how good they were going to be. They became bigger after that game, right?
The defenses were good in that game.
Yeah, both sides.
Yeah. The difference is A&M had a couple of defensive lapses that allowed big plays.
Which, unfortunately, we've seen even this year a couple times. Do not have bad penalties, especially on third down when you've got them. Don't have bad penalties, and don't give up a huge play to start the second half.
Right.
Take care of those issues, and I think we're going to be moving in the right direction.
Yeah, I don't think A&M has to play the, quote, proverbial perfect game to win. I think A&M is as good as Notre Dame. You just got to play well.
I'm really interested in what the offense does in this game because when they have again, I'm using last year as the barometer, and I apologize for that, but that's all we have right now. When they've taken on really good defenses, this offense has really struggled.
Well, I think this offense is going to move the ball because those offenses that struggled did not have KC Concepcion and Mario Craver. They had average speed probably at receiver, and now they have exceptional speed at receiver. My biggest concern is going to be how that defensive front is going to hold up against Notre Dame's offensive line. I know they weren't great against Miami, but they've had 2 weeks to figure out what they did wrong. And are they going to be able to contain Jeremiah Love and Price?
Jadarian Price,
the two running backs. Can they keep them from they're going to get their yards, and they're going to have some 10, 15-yard runs. They are. But can you keep them from having the 40-yard run for a touchdown that changes the game like they had last year?
Yeah, that's going to be it. And they have to be cleaner on defense. They have to be. I actually enjoyed Coach Elko's response to your question because he did not shine. We're going to play it.
It was a bad question. I should have asked it in a different way.
How would you have asked it differently?
I would have said, instead of saying, did you ever regret not bringing in Marcel last year?
Oh, that's not the one I was talking about.
Okay.
But that was a good question, too.
I should have asked him, how might it have, because you don't want to get a yes or no answer.
Right.
How might it have been different had you brought in Marcel in that game?
Yeah, I was actually talking
about. And then he
about,
might have said no different at all.
I appreciated that question, but I more appreciated I don't know about more. The one I was thinking about was the one initially where you're like, do you shy away from this big game narrative, right?
Yeah, because Jimbo always said, it doesn't even matter who we're playing. It's name faceless. And then even Sumlin he didn't like to talk about games being big.
Yeah. Well, let's hear from Coach Elko on how big this game is inside the program.
It'd be naive to not think that our kids understand the magnitude of a top 10 matchup on the road, going to play a top 10 opponent on the road. So from that perspective, obviously this is a big opportunity. How big is it relative to the season? It's as big as every game we play because win or lose, there's going to be more to play, and regardless of outcome, the next one's going to be just important, and so is the next one. So from that perspective, I don't see it different. But from the standpoint of, is this a big stage, big opportunity, prime time? Yeah, for sure. It'd be naive to say it isn't.
It is that.
I love that a coach will acknowledge that. I remember, you remember Jim Tressel?
Of course.
He led Ohio State to a national championship. And his previous coach was like, hey, every game's the same, again. And Jim Tressel, when he took over, I mean, he'd been the coach for like a day, and he addressed the crowd at a basketball game. He says, "We're working to make you proud on." He had the day to play Michigan because he understood that some games mean more than others. Where some coaches want you to think that playing Notre Dame is the same as playing Utah State, and it's not.
At the end of the year, sure, your record is your record, but let's be honest. That moment, what it means, and what it can mean moving forward as well. A victory over Notre Dame can change the trajectory of how we look at this team moving forward.
You probably become a top 10 team if you win, and everybody nationally starts doing their projected playoff teams, and Texas A&M.
Yeah.
So,
all right. By the way, I don't know if you knew, this is TexAgs Live.
TexAgs Live, brought to you by David Gardner's Jewelers.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate that. And he is a gem. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studios. I look around. I just wanted to make sure that I knew that. And this is the Go Hour.
The Go Hour brought to you by the Warehouse at CC Creations.
Yeah. And we're right now sitting, just relaxing in the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
Yeah, it's cooler than ever.
Yeah, it's
with
cool.
These new chairs.
In fact, I could do the whole show here, just relaxing and chilling.
I kind of think we should.
Yeah, well, we may stay here for another segment. How about that? Hey, Nick, we're staying here for another segment. All right?
Hopefully the stage doesn't collapse. So,
do you want to hear a story?
And that wasn't a joke about either of y'all's weight, OB, so don't take it that way.
Did you call me obese?
Obese. Love that.
Yesterday, I stepped up on this stage. I think I was on the phone with Billy, and it collapsed. And there could have been a disaster. There could have been an ACL tear because whoever set it up did not flare out the legs. They had it just kind of bent in, and I stepped on it, and this thing came crashing down. It could have. You would have had a broken hip. I'm just telling you. It would have happened.
It's a good thing it wasn't. It was you and not Luch. Somebody might have gotten fired.
Luch would have had black eye. Everybody would have been fired. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, if you want to be a part of the conversation this morning, you can do it by calling the...
Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't ready for you. The Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
I'm more of a catering guy. You're more of a bartending guy.
Bartending guy, and yet I don't drink.
Let's go around the room. Say hi to the people.
Polanski would probably be more bartender.
I'm not gonna speculate here. Nick, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, y'all. I got a fun schedule note just because we were kind of going over it today. So I think Brett McMurphy was the one to tweet this out, the observation. Oklahoma plays, as it stands now, obviously it's going to change, but as it stands now, Oklahoma plays a ranked opponent for the remainder of the season. Every team they face is currently ranked.
Huh.
But if you look at the Texas schedule, you know how many SEC teams are unranked?
Yeah.
Four.
And they have them all on their schedule.
And you know how many unranked SEC teams Texas plays?
Four.
Yeah.
That's not, what a coincidence, right?
Yeah, I think Florida is better. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I think Florida is better than that, though. From a talent perspective.
Allegedly.
Yeah. Hopefully they're better than that on that afternoon.
I wonder if that kid that spit, I wonder if he's going to be suspended or anything.
I don't know. I haven't seen an update on that. Yep.
Huh.
Hey, let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. It's been a minute since we've seen this young lady. She is making her return to TexAgs Live. McKinley Polanski.
Hi, David. Hi, OB. How are y'all?
Hello.
I'm happy to be back.
Are you really?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure. You've been working behind the scenes for about a couple of weeks, but you making your triumphant return to TexAgs Live.
Yes, for 2 weeks I've been shadowing Luke. He's great at this, so it's been awesome to shadow him. But I'm happy to be back.
Well, what do you have for us this morning?
Yes, I have a lot. Texas A&M baseball head coach Michael Early announced on Monday that Olsen Field at Bluebell Park will host a pair of fall scrimmages this fall. The Aggies will host Sam Houston on Friday, October 3rd, and TCU on Friday, October 10th, with both games starting at 6 p.m. Both of those fall games are on the day before Aggie football home games. So if you're in town for a Texas A&M football game, head over to Bluebell the night before for some Aggie baseball fall games.
Awesome. Let's get one more update and we'll move on.
Yeah. Men's golf. The number 20 Texas A&M men's golf team claimed the first place trophy at the season opening second swing Gopher Invitational paced by individual tri-champion Aaron Pounds. The Aggies defeated second place South Carolina by 7 strokes to win the title.
Awesome stuff. Thank you very much. Obi, as I mentioned, we're going to stay here for the next segment, just because it's comfortable. We may even talk to Charean here. We may just do a whole hour.
You know, at my age, when I sit in a comfortable chair, it's hard to get out of it.
Yeah, but how about a comfortable chair,
Yeah.
sitting like this?
Yeah.
Got your food right here on your belly.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Now,
Especially if it was 1775 barbecue.
you consider that finger food sometimes?
Heck yeah. Do you think I'm going to use a fork and a knife to eat ribs?
No.
Or do you think I'm going to use a fork and a knife to eat that brisket? Because you should, but I got to admit, you've probably seen me. Sometimes I just grab a piece and dip it in sauce if I even need sauce and just
throw it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about the macaroni? Queso mac and cheese, I should say.
I use I have to admit, I use the fork until it's all gone, and then I'll use my hands to pick up the bowl and kind of lick the bowl.
Yeah.
Like when I was a kid and my mom made a cake.
They're not open on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
But they are open on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yeah, that's a great time to go. Sunday, I didn't mention they're not open as well. But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 11 a.m. until they're sold out. Online ordering turns off at 10 a.m. You can call them up, 979-492-6241, or check out the website, 1775txbbq.com.
I ate the turkey with my hands, too.
It's good, right?
Yeah, it's good. Very good.
Good.
Hey everyone, it's David and Olin from the Holistic Planning
Cool Zone.
I like when we have the chairs here because I don't feel like I have to do this when we're talking about holistic planning. But they want you to know, TexAgs subscribers, they take care of the TexAgs subscribers.
Oh, absolutely. Take care of everybody.
They want to know that anybody who signs up by November 27, 2025 will receive this awesome offer. If the Aggies beat the Longhorns or win in Austin on November 28, 2025, clients will pay no management fees to Holistic Planning for the entire 2026 calendar year.
That's free.
It's free 99. Actually, just free.
All you got to do is beat Texas. Well, it's not if they beat Texas, it's when they beat Texas.
When. And when you go to holisticplanning.com, you're going to love Holistic Planning. So it is holisticplanning.com. Check out the website and take advantage of this awesome offer.
As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. That's at 10:50. But right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggieland since 1984 with your favorite pizza. And, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. Look at that teleprompter read.
And yet there is no teleprompter. That's what I was going to say.
You know, it's muscle memory by this point. Yesterday, I did the debut of No Layups, the show that I do with my buddy Raheel. We had Cousin Shane on.
Cousin Shane, okay.
Love Cousin Shane. And we had Travis Johnson. I don't know if you remember Travis Johnson. Played for Florida State, was a Texans player, played in the NFL for many years. Okay. He was smoking a cigar throughout. But he had some thoughts on Jimbo, why Jimbo didn't work, and he thinks you better hope that Jimbo doesn't get one of these jobs that opens up because he thinks Jimbo's going to be able to figure it out. He's very high on Jimbo. But he talked about the big victory over Alabama, why he thought it was coming. It was a good conversation. And I believe with Cousin Shane, Nick, you can remind me, we talked about the parity in college football, of why some of these really good teams are, I don't want to say struggling, but maybe not dismantling lesser opponents like you would expect, because we've seen a lot of that this year.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of reasons I haven't even thought of, but to me, the most obvious one is it's harder to stockpile talent.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like at Alabama when they were so dominant. If somebody got hurt, you know, the Alabama people say, next Savage up, because the next guy was probably just as good or close.
Yeah.
Probably not as experienced was the difference.
Sure.
But now that guy doesn't have to wait, because he can transfer. The other ones could too, but he can transfer and get paid like a starter.
Yeah.
And so, you know, why wait when I can play right now and get paid like a starter?
Still hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. Let's do the performance of the week. OB, I will give you the first one.
Well, Casey Concepcion comes to mind.
Okay.
Again, didn't he have 2 touchdowns in that game? So if you can get 2 touchdowns every game, then, you know, I think that's pretty reliable. Of course, somebody's throwing him the ball too.
Sure.
You know, so.
I put Marcel on my list.
Why not? Accounted for 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Marcel's had a really great start to the season. 7 touchdowns in the air, 1 rushing. And he's been efficient. And that pass right there was ridiculous.
It was such a good throw.
You know, for me, and again, I think maybe if you're watching on TV, it's a different experience. But from where we were watching in the press box, I couldn't figure out what they were trying to do in the moment.
Right.
I had to watch the replay of it and because to me, it felt like he was throwing into triple coverage. He wasn't. He knew exactly where KC was going to be.
Yeah, it was a nice play and very, very obviously, I won't say flawlessly, but very well executed. I think this week you're going to see Marcel move around a lot more.
Yeah,
I
think so. Yeah, and then I think you have to put Mario Craver there, right? Got to put Mario Craver.
Or Bussy.
Or Bussy, yeah. Look, I mean, Craver, and I feel like it took a little while for Craver and Reed to link up, but when they did, they did. And then obviously the Miles O'Neill touchdown pass was brilliant.
You cannot overthrow Mario Craver. You throw it as far as you can.
And he'll catch it.
And he's going to go get it. He's fast. Super Mario. He's fast. And I thought the ball was going to be overthrown when it's gone. And then no. That's my Howard Cosell moment.
But no.
I thought the ball was overthrown, but no. Mario Craver just shifts it into high gear, turbocharged, and just goes and get it.
How about we got to give love to Cassius Howell? I mean.
Well, yeah. 3 sacks on 3 consecutive plays. Yeah. How often does that happen?
It doesn't happen very often.
Like once in 10 years, maybe?
Pretty great. Now, people are saying that Myles Garrett did it. No, he did 2, right? Back-to-back. But I think yesterday in the press conference I heard that he did back-to-back-to-back. No, I think it was 2, I think.
Yeah.
And one of those was crazy. But look at Cassius. And again, when you talk to his teammates, they all said, yeah, we knew this was coming. This is what he does.
Well, I hope he does it this week.
Yeah. That would be
I almost felt sorry for number 56, Jake Ihorn, the offensive tackle.
I don't feel bad for people.
I said almost.
Almost, okay.
Because I really don't feel bad for you if you're in the SEC, but you're from Utah State, and you got sent down here to play that, and now you're looking up and you're saying, this guy, I'm never going to face another guy like this in my career.
All right, let's get a quick one from McKinley, because we got to hit a break to get Charean on before we do the Association of Former Students.
Yeah. Let's talk about Texas A&M's Maddie Walk. The setter dished 100 assists through 7 sets of work, averaging 14.29 per frame. Her distribution was highlighted in the match versus Utah State as the Maroon and White hit .415% a unit, which was a program record in a 4-set match.
Great stuff there, McKinley. Thank you very much. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with Charean Williams here on TexAgs Live. Attention business owners, your commercial insurance needs deserve specialized attention, and the Rollo Insurance Group is going to give you a comprehensive consultation for businesses of all sizes with particular expertise in family-owned operation. Their independent agents provide objective guidance on liability, property, workers' comp, and specialized coverage. Every business faces unique risks, from industry-specific liabilities to location hazards, and Rollo's business specialists take time to understand your operation's specific needs and vulnerabilities, and, of course, your growth plan. They'll create a protection strategy that scale with your company, preventing coverage gaps that could threaten everything that you have built. As your business evolves, your Rollo agent becomes a valuable resource for risk management advice beyond just insurance policies. Find your dedicated business partner today at rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That is rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Still hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. We go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. That's where we find Charean Williams, Pro Football Talks Best, and, of course, the Aggie Hall of Famer. Charean, good morning.
Good morning. It's Notre Dame week. How are we feeling?
Honestly, OB, I feel good.
I feel.
I don't feel great, but I feel good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's possible, but
Yeah.
I don't feel unconfident. I don't feel confident. I feel like it's wide open.
Yeah. How do you feel, Charean?
Yeah, about the same. And I, last minute, my boss, I mentioned just in passing that Notre Dame was on my bucket list, and he's like, "You work for NBC. It's an NBC game. Go." And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, right. I have to work Sunday." He goes, "Just take the first flight back. Go." So I'm actually going. So I hope that we have a chance. I think we have a chance because to me, it's all going to boil down to how well you can stop the run. If you can stop the run, I think you got a chance.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that's where the key lies.
What? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Charean.
They're going to run much more than they did in that first game. There's no question about that. Why they didn't run in the first game, they probably would have won if they had run the ball. And why they didn't, the play calling was atrocious in that game. They're going to run in this game. They're going to run, and they're going to run a lot.
Charean, what does a victory over Notre Dame signify or mean? Does it mean something more than I'm thinking, or is it just the next step in what Coach Elko is trying to build?
It means a lot to the players. I think confidence-wise, emotionally, all those things. We're really good. We can do this. We just beat one of the best teams in the country, or what we think was best teams in the country. We're a good team. So I think it's a huge step. It's not just a step. I think it's a huge step from an emotional, mental, all of that confidence. I just think that lifts you up. It's one of those wins that you're like, all right, we just beat this team on the road. We can beat anybody on our schedule. I think that's what it does for you. That's what it does for the players.
Would you go so far as to say it makes you a championship contender?
Yeah, I think so. I pause only because Notre Dame lost that first game, and I think if they lose this game, they're out, and we're seeing Notre Dame perhaps in a different light than we did before the start of the season. But still, beating Notre Dame on the road, which is still a good team regardless, we know they're going to finish somewhere in the top 20. If not, in the top 15. They may not make the playoffs if they lose to A&M, but I still think they're going to be a really good team. So, yeah, I think at that point you are talking about A&M as a championship contender. I think we've done that with other teams. I think we've done that with Florida State after week one. So I think you would do the same thing with A&M.
Charean, I apologize in advance for the potty humor, but Dalton on the YouTube page says, David, I have to know, do you keep an eye on OB while he's in the bathroom? How else are you going to know if he's hurt? This is in reference to Sark's commentary yesterday on Arch. Did you see it? What did you think of it?
I did, and I was appalled in one way and laughing my butt off on others. I sent it to a ton of people. I mean, did he go to the bathroom in his pants? Is that what he was doing? That's what Sark made it sound like. And my comment was, if you're that scared against San Jose State, imagine what's going to happen when you play Georgia. I hope he wasn't that scared.
Yeah, I hope he wasn't either. I don't know. I just think that was Sark, talking crap.
Yeah, literally.
Hey, Charean, I'm going to let OB ask about the Cowboys next. But first, it wasn't good for either Texas team this weekend. What's up with the Texans?
Yeah, they look like they had the same problems as last year. Thought they fixed those. Their, offensive line wasn't very good and couldn't run the ball very well and didn't protect very well. I mean, it was the same problems that we've seen. Now, get Christian back. If he comes back this week, I think that'll make a difference. He'll be able to get some separation and open things up for Nico Collins and some others. But that just wasn't a very good performance in week one. I thought the defense played well enough to win. The offense did not, and they've got to do more. You got to get in the end zone. If you're going to win in this league, you normally can't win with 3 field goals. And that's what they were kind of relying on. So you got to get in the end zone. They've got to be better offensively, and if they're not, it's going to be a long year for the Texans. Colts look pretty good in that division. I thought they were going to run away with the division, but the Colts look pretty good with Daniel Jones. So we'll see how that division shakes out, but they got to get it going.
Okay, I got two questions for you about the Cowboys. First of all, and I know he spells his name out, but should CD stand for costly drops? And how do you feel after that game at Philadelphia, in which you lost like everybody thought, and yet you actually had a really legitimate chance to win the game if your best players would play?
Yeah. And I tell you, they still only scored 20 points, so that's still a problem. But if you make those catches, you're probably scoring more than 20 points.
Yeah.
And I do think it came down to, A, the fumble by Miles Sanders. Well, first, even before that, you got caught from behind by a linebacker. Zach Bond caught him from behind by a linebacker. Make that cut. You can't let a linebacker bring you down. That's first of all. And then second of all, in that same series, then he fumbles, and that was kind of the beginning of the end for the Cowboys. They didn't score again, and they had an opportunity right there. They were in the red zone to get a touchdown and kind of start rolling and toward a victory, and they didn't do that. And then CD had the 3 or 4 drops, however many you want to. I don't think that last one was a drop. It was a well-placed ball that CD had a chance to catch, but there were others that clearly were drops that he makes. But that last one, I'll tell you, I wouldn't count it as a drop.
No.
But that's a catch that makes most of the time and should have made that catch. But if they do those things, then, yeah, they score more points and they win that game. And yeah, we're talking about them as a contender, just what you were saying. I mean, you get a win like that in week 1, you're talking
on the road.
This is a huge game. Remember last year they lost the Saints in week 2 at home? You got to go win this game and win it big this week.
Charean, I thought one of the costliest drops when I started thinking, okay, this isn't going to go well, was actually, I think the score was 14-14, and the Cowboys were driving, and CD dropped a pass on first down. It should have been an 8 or 9 yard gain. They ended up kicking a field goal on that, and I said, it kind of felt like, you lost serve. I don't know if you remember that play.
Yeah, I do. And it was a huge play, and you're right, at that the game too, and then he goes on to do it some more times, and CD's one of the best receivers in football. In football, he does have a problem with drops. I mean, he has dropped an awful lot of balls in his career, but this is abnormal to do it this many times in one game. So he's got to figure this out. It was almost like he wasn't in training camp. You would have thought it was last year when he sat out all of training camp. He was in training camp, but I do like the fact that he showed up the next morning and was on the judge machine right away, trying to work on his hands, and hopefully his hands are better and he catches more balls and doesn't have as many drops going forward.
Charean, I purposely didn't ask you about one particular Aggie in the NFL because I figured that person would get quite a bit of love here in your Aggies in the NFL, so I'll let you take it from here.
Well, I hope so. I hope I don't miss any because there are so many now. You have to really go through every single game to and think who are the Aggies on this team. I will say first, Jalen Jones has a hamstring injury for the Colts. Got that. They're going to be hurting if he's hurt at all and can't play, which it sounds like he's going to be out at least a week. And you worry about those soft tissue injuries. And Shamar Turner last night was inactive and did not play. He's just getting his feet back under him after his injury. But I had shout out to Mike Evans, 5 catches for 51 yards. He keeps doing what he does. And I thought Braden Mann for a few times as he punted great against the Cowboys. For the Eagles, he had 3 kicks for a 48.7 yard average. 2 of those 3 kicks ended up inside the 20. Thought he played awfully well. Number 3, Nnamdi Matabuke had 6 tackles and a sack in the Ravens' loss. It wasn't his fault that they let the Bills come back and complete that comeback in what might be the best game of the year. 2, Myles Garrett, again, not his fault that the Browns couldn't kick a field goal and couldn't do more on offense. 2 sacks, 5 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. He almost had 3 in a row. And I don't know if you guys saw the comments of he was just trying to do his best impression of our Aggies. So almost had 3 in a row, which would have been a really cool feat to have 3 in a row on Saturday and 3 in a row on Sunday. And then number 1, Edrin Cooper. unbelievable against the Lions, led the team with 12 tackles, was all over the field. I think Michael Parsons is really going to help him. Just a great game by Edrin Cooper.
If they were going to trade Micah,
got to get Edge.
That's the guy that you said. If you want Micah Parsons,
give us Edge.
Yep. Edge.
Charean, awesome stuff. We'll see you in South Bend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. All right, Charean Williams on the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline. OB, thank you, buddy. We're going to do a little association chat on the other side. Right now, when it comes to your money and peace of mind, it starts with the right team. And Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors, they're an independent fiduciary team serving clients across Texas. No commission, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you. With a team of 18 professionals, including 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA, their expertise runs deep. And at Paragon, credentials do matter, and so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com. That is paragon-adv.com, or call them up. 979-693-3907 to schedule your free consultation today. Is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. Pass It Back Day here on TexAgs Live, the Association of Former Students annual day of giving support to the Aggie Network. We got Randy Reyes in studio, the Assistant Vice President of Marketing Communications, and a student with us, Josie Adams, class of 2026. Hey, friends. What's up?
Howdy.
Randy, just kind of remind us, I mean, I gave a little brief intro, but what Pass It Back Day is all about.
Definitely. So we're excited. This year is our 10th anniversary. So we've been rolling this for 10 years now. It started as a way to get away from Giving Tuesday 10 years ago. There's a Giving Tuesday that typically happens in November. We thought, let's be different. Let's try to break out of everything else that's happening. Let's create a day. And we know that the Aggie Network is strong. They love to give back. And so we challenge them with Pass It Back Day. It's our one annual day of giving. We have a goal this year of 1,879 donors, which is based on when we were founded as an organization. And so today's just a day to say, Aggies, if you can, give. We do great work. We love impacting students like Josie. And so that's what it's all about today.
You can buy back years, right?
You can, 50% off today, which is a pretty awesome deal if you've got some missing year bars.
I got some missing year bars still, so I need to jump on it. So tell me a little bit about you. What are you involved with at A&M?
Yes, sir. So here at Texas A&M, I'm involved in an organization called Traditions Council. Our job is to preserve and promote the traditions at A&M. And we get to run two really awesome traditions. One is Silver Taps, the other is Bonfire Remembrance, which we are so privileged to receive funding from the association to make sure that those ceremonies are always happening each year. And so to be able to be part of that has been a really big blessing. And then at the Association of Former Students, I get to be involved in our ambassador program called the 1879 Society Ambassadors.
Why is it important for you to be involved in extracurricular activities and it's specifically the association?
Yes, sir. So truly, at Texas A&M, we talk about the other education, the things that you learn outside the classroom. And I think to be able to grow as an individual and as a leader, because I've been able to have these leadership experiences and these organizations, these groups that have just filled my cup and pushed me to be a better student at A&M and to hopefully be an incredible adult once I graduate, it truly has been very special.
You can feel the impact, right, of Pass It Back Day. It truly impacts you.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. So to be able to be a part of these organizations and know that there's no way that Bonfire Remembrance could happen without funding from the association, or there's no way that we could give back to former students from 1879 ambassadors unless we had these incredible former students who care enough about my student experience, a student they've never met, to give back and make sure that I get to be a part of these experiences and grow as a student leader at A&M is very incredible.
Randy, this is my fourth one to be involved with. Talk about how it's grown. You said 10 years, so I've almost half there. Where has it grown? Where have you seen it grow?
Well, I mean, when we started 10 years ago, again, we decided we were going to do something different. And so now it has become just something that happens every year, right? After 2 times, it becomes tradition where we're on 10. And so the great thing about it is we have people reach out to us beforehand and say, hey, when's Pass It Back Day? How can I help? We have others that are willing to share the message, spread the word. And so for us, right, we do this on a daily basis. We raise funds, we give stuff to Texas A&M and Texas Aggies to help support their journeys. And today is just that one day where we say, all right, Aggie Network, let's see if we can raise the dollars, but more importantly, get the gifts that we need in order to do the great work that we do.
You got about 30 seconds left here. How do people get involved?
Yeah, so short URL, tx.ag/PIBD25 if they want to give. If they can't remember that, tx.ag/passitbackday is where they can find more information.
And Josie, wrap it up for us. Why is this such an important day?
It's such an important day because I think that students everywhere can feel the support from former students. To be able to have a day where we can just focus on the students who give back to us is truly so amazing.
Josie and Randy, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Much more of that throughout the show here at the 50s of every hour. It is TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. Coming up next, Josh Pate. Talk to you in a bit. Little Bobby McFerrin for you here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Time for our weekly conversation with Josh Pate, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. As always, if you find a lower price, Academy's going to beat it by 5% with their best price guarantee. Go get new gear from the new year at Academy today. Puppy's Catering Hotline is where we find Josh Pate. Josh, what's up, buddy? Oh, I don't hear him. Nick's going to reset it. I think there's something on Nick's side. And hopefully we'll get to Josh Pate here in a moment. We must be having an issue with our system. So McKinley, read me a text or a YouTube page before we get Josh back on the show.
Yeah. Aaron and Brian said, do you think this Notre Dame game would rank top 5 in the last decade of away game wins for A&M as a program?
Yeah. Number 1 on the list. Number 1. Because in the last 5 years, okay, so that's going away wins. Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Yeah. They haven't won on a road ranked game since 2014.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
1,000% it would rank. And I don't mean that rudely, by the way. Who asked that question?
Aaron and Brian.
Yeah, Aaron, I don't mean that rudely. I'm just saying absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Because in the last 5 years, okay, you can go back to the COVID season, which was kind of a weird away game, right? Situation. But since I've been at TexAgs, they have won 3 road games? Is that right? I got the TexAgs in 21. They beat Missouri on the road. I'm not talking about the neutral site victories, okay? Because Arkansas has obviously always been jury world. I believe that's the only game they won in 21. They didn't win any in 22. They didn't win any in 23, and they won 2 in 24. That was at Florida, right?
At Florida.
And at Mississippi State. So with that, yes, in the last 5 years, no doubt. And honestly, in the last 10 years, also no doubt, because Texas A&M has not been able to win those games. All right, we're trying Josh Pate again. Hey, buddy.
I think I heard most of that conversation. Go all time. Just go back 50 years, whatever. Go back in the color TV era, all of A&M's road games. I know that since it's so recent, if they go win Saturday, people are really hesitant to say, oh, this is one of the biggest wins in the history of this program on the road. But if we're trying to establish a new culture under a second-year head coach, if we're trying to announce our arrival on the national stage, if we're trying to establish an identity of A&M football, and we're going on the road against a desperate Notre Dame team, top 10 team, I don't even know what the AP has them, but that is a top 10 team. You're doing it in South Bend. It's primetime game, right? So it's 7:30 kickoff. It doesn't really get much bigger than that. Like, I don't care if you play football for a million years, you're not going to get, I don't know why I sound mad. You're not going to get a ton of results that are more impactful than that. So let's win the game first.
Yeah.
But afterwards, I would vote it way up there, David. I don't know. I'd have to look at the Wikipedia page, but I'd vote it way up there.
2012 A&M at Alabama, obviously for me, is number 1 in my lifetime. I'm sure there's other ones. I think 94, they went to LSU and kicked that butt. But the last time A&M won a road game against a ranked team was 2014 South Carolina. So this year, that's why there's been hesitation with A&M from Aggies especially about this year. Can they be special? Yes, they can, but they've got to end that streak, and that needs to start this weekend.
Yeah, that's the talk and talk and talk. It happens for months. We do it. I'm not mad at it, but like, one afternoon of football is worth more than 6 months of talking. So that goes for expectations too. 4 quarters of football, 3.5 hours on a Saturday evening. That's more important than what you've thought from January through August. And so you cannot overemphasize, you cannot overstate enough the value of that stuff. And really, a 4-quarter game, as we've learned throughout history, that's really going to come down to a couple of key drives, a couple of key decisions, which has always fascinated me about this sport. The guys' legacies are defined by a couple of moments, really, for most of them. A team, their destiny is going to be defined by a few key moments in games like these, and you spend your entire life, it feels like, getting ready for them. We spend our entire years talking about them, and that's why it feels the way it feels, because we don't play 162 of these games. We play 12 of them, and you don't even play 12 that feel like this one will feel Saturday. I hope everyone who can possibly get a ticket there, I hope everyone on the beat who could possibly secure a credential is going up there, because that is as special a place as you will ever visit. It is my number one favorite place to go in all of college football, is to go to, well, it's always a road game for me, but to go to a game at Notre Dame. And if you get the weather the way it should be, late summer, sort of early fall vibe, low humidity. Oh, man. David, you been there before?
Never. This will be my first time.
So just get there early, not to beat traffic, but just soak it in.
Yeah.
Look at the mixture of the maroon next to the green, just the colors on campus. It's unbelievable. It's like a movie. It's literally like being in a movie scene, which makes sense because they filmed them there before.
Josh, I think it's been a topic on this show, and it's been a topic on this show for a while, but more recently, I don't know why people struggle with talking good about Marcel Reed. They don't talk bad about Marcel Reed, don't get me wrong, but like there's rankings where he's 9th or 10th. Even this week I saw that in quarterbacks in the SEC, and like, I don't know, man. Like, I know he hasn't taken on, the quality of team of Michigan and Clemson LSU level. I get that. The guy's done everything right this year, and yet I don't think it's good enough for some people yet. And I think this weekend will change that if he has a really good game.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter what he's done to most people because he hasn't faced a marquee opponent. Let's call it what it is. Most people haven't watched him play this year outside of A&M fans, and they will do that this weekend. So, like, you're right. That'll change this weekend. It goes back to what we were just talking about. Mateer got his shot last weekend, all right, and then he won. So now everyone's talking about him. Arch got his shot in week 1. He didn't win. Now, people are still talking about him, but they're talking about him negatively and zooming in on his face during warm-ups and all that stuff. So Marcel Reed gets his shot this weekend. Now, 3 things could happen. All right, the first is you just lose. The second thing is you could win, but you win with defense and a ground game, and Marcel Reed has 121 yards passing. The third is you win, and he is the face of the win. And if that third one happens, that's when you start talking about him on the national level. Outside of that, I don't think there's anything he could have done so far that would have warranted SportsCenter highlight, top 10 stuff, power rating type conversation. No one cares yet because no one's seen him play yet.
Well, as I feel like one of the biggest supporters of Marcel, I just look at other quarterbacks who also haven't played many teams. And, Austin Simmons, they did play Kentucky this past weekend. I'll give them that, and that's a great defense. But 4 interceptions. And Lenore's, to me, he is great. Hasn't looked as great as we expected so far, in my opinion. So, like, I just want people to recognize Marcel. And also, I do think that they're doing this, though. They are recognizing Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion. They are doing that.
How would you not? I was standing on, I guess we were at Oklahoma by that time. And certain people inside the Texas A&M football program started to light my phone up. And I'm thinking, oh, no, dude, they're not getting upset, are they? What's happening? This would be out of nowhere. And I look, and 3 sacks in a row, David.
Yeah.
3 sacks in a row. And you will remember about a month ago, I was doing a segment where we were just talking about breakout players. And I asked you, hey, I got a few different candidates here. Who would you go with breakout player? You said, no, go with Cassius. Just trust me, go with Cassius. So, ladies and gentlemen, I went with him, and Mr. Nuño here makes me look like a genius because then everybody remembers that video, and I'm banging the drum. Now, you guys had banged the drum, but nationally, not many people were just shouting his name. And so I did it, and everybody thought I was a genius, and so I have to take this opportunity to commend my good friend here. Because I may have gone with Cassius, I may have gone elsewhere, and if I went elsewhere, it would have been a shame because that 3-sack game would have all been irrelevant. Because, David, if one of us doesn't get credit for the play on the field, does the play on the field really matter?
Right.
I would suggest not so much.
Well, part of the reason is the way he finished last season. And when you're amongst giants and you still shine, that tells me something when you're the guy.
Yeah. Well, so then if we look forward to get kind of serious for a second, if we look forward, I just watched Ruben Bain terrorize Notre Dame in week 1. And, you watch that tape and you say, oh, Notre Dame will be okay because there aren't a lot of those out there. And that's true. There aren't. But, they're going to face one this weekend. They're going to face a game wrecker, a disruptor, a guy you have to game plan around. Probably for their sake, a good thing that performance got put on tape so that they can wake their guys up and say, hey, this guy will embarrass you if you're not careful. So all the talk about Marcel Reed, all the talk about the running game, all the talk about Craver, all the talk about this and that. might we see him take this game over? I think a couple of years ago about Ohio State going to Penn State. Offense didn't do all that much, but I think they scored 21 defensive points or something like that because JT Tuimoloau just took the game over. He just wrecked the game up front. What if A&M gets a win Saturday and it's in that fashion where you got a guy defensively that they have no answer for, kind of like they had no answer for Reuben Bain, especially in the third and fourth quarter. That was like men against boys in the fourth quarter, and it's not boys. Notre Dame is not that, and Bain made them look like that. So might we have a similar occurrence in the fourth quarter this Saturday?
So what worries me as an A&M follower, fan, analyst is that I don't think Notre Dame's going to have that same game plan, right? They're going to run way more, and I think they're going to do what they did last year with Riley Leonard, which is throw the ball quickly, right? That was Riley's game, but there was no chance for Nick Scordon and Shamar Turner and Shamar Stewart to get in the backfield because they got rid of the ball that quickly.
Yeah, so you got to earn the right to rush the passer, is what we're saying. We've said that before with A&M. Decade ago, we were saying that. You had a good pass rush a decade ago. Well, you got to earn the right to use it. So that's the name of the game. That should be the name of the game anytime anyone plays Notre Dame, by the way, or for that matter, anytime anyone plays A&M. They should never really get a shot at your quarterback because you ought to be 3rd and 2 all afternoon. So that's the great challenge. That's what you chew your team out at the end of last year for. It's what you work all spring and summer for, and you get to fall camp. It's to build a defensive front that can force a lot of 3rd and 5+ situations. Because if you can get them in that, I don't care if they're playing in Miami or playing in South Bend or playing on the Moon, you set yourself up to change the game. You set yourself up for your defense maybe to be able to win the game. But you got to get there first. Really doesn't matter if they're falling forward for 8 yards on first down consistently.
Talking to Josh Pate here on TexAgs Live. Josh, I'm going to give you a compliment here. It's a weird compliment to give you. You have a good walk. I'm watching these videos. Yeah, of you walking in Norman. And I'm like, when I walk, there's a little bit of a hunch look. You're walking, you got your sunglasses on. You're kind of walking in like, you got a quality walk when you walk around Norman. How was that whole situation?
Wait. You got a hunch when you walk? Is it a spinal issue? What's going on?
I think I got a gangster lean, is what I call it.
Yeah. So it's not medical, it's psychological.
Okay. I think it's a mindset. Growing up in the mean streets of Alief, Texas, I think it's just a mindset.
And so you don't think you were born with it, but you think that it was developed over time.
It was developed, and I've tried to fix it, right? But like, once you grow up in Alief, you can't get it out of your body, man. Like, and I grew up in like the Huxtable part of Alief. Like, it was nice, but it was still Alief. Right.
Okay, so it was very fun.
Yeah.
Norman was pretty incredible. We did Iowa State that morning. We went down to Norman for the Michigan game. Unbelievable. That was everything that those folks wanted that Tennessee game to be last year. And then Jackson Arnold and the offense goes off the rails. They bench him. Season's over. And it was really depressing. This was anything but that. And they got a guy who is a star in John Mateer. And if you think about it, David, if you think about all the things that happen in the game, if I were to have told you this Friday that OU is going to be -2 turnovers, they're going to have multiple critical special teams errors. They are going to, outside of the quarterback position, run the ball for like 3 yards per carry. Michigan's going to have an explosive touchdown run of 70+ yards. That's an ingredient for an upset. And yet, not only did the upset not happen, Oklahoma was in charge of the game. Like, there was never a point where I thought they were in danger of losing the game. So that's a sign that, number one, you got a good win. Number two, you got a star quarterback on your hands. And number three, there's probably a lot of room to still scale up and grow. Now, as much as I was high on them in the preseason and got laughed at, now I'm the guy sitting here saying, hold on just a second. It's great to be excited, but it's one game. We don't know what Michigan is yet. Michigan could be an 8-4 team. You played them at home. You're going to have Auburn at home next week. You should beat them. It should be another game you win. But, buddy, that second half of the season is coming, and you're not getting through that unscathed. It's like running to your car when it's raining outside. You know you're going to get wet. It's how wet do you get? You just got to limit the saturation. So you got to limit how much damage that back half of the season can do to you by being undefeated once you get there. Now, you'll remember this. I told you I thought they would be undefeated going into the Red River Shootout, and I did not think Texas would be undefeated. Well, we're getting close, and I've got probably hundreds of replies bookmarked from people who called me all form of terrible names. They did not compliment how I walk, but they did criticize various other physical features of your boy here. And so I'm ready. I'm ready because they forgot to delete them. So I'm ready.
Hey, Josh, one other thing about that game. I think it was Peter Burns this morning talking about, I don't have the exact stat on Mateer, but when he faced the blitz, how efficient he was. And then you look at Bryce Underwood, he was 0 for 8 when he faced the blitz. That just, to me, boils down to the experience of a seasoned quarterback with his OC and a youngster trying to figure it out for the first time on the road in an SEC environment.
Yeah, well, Mateer's got an unfair advantage because he has guys to throw the ball to, and Bryce Underwood does not. So, outside of that, I think very highly of Bryce Underwood. I actually thought he represented himself pretty well, being a true freshman on the road facing Venables as his first real indoctrination into college football. He just has nobody to throw the ball to. So, I don't know, man. I've seen those comparisons. I stood there and watched the game. I don't even think it's fair to compare the two quarterbacks. One of them's got a ton of experience and a good receiving core. The other doesn't. I just think with Oklahoma, I mean, their fans got mad at me in the preseason, but they're quiet now. I feel validated in saying that's a 2026 team. 2025 is, mail the season in. I'm not saying they will, but you're going to view 2025 and you're going to say, wow, that quarterback could be great. We got to go get him receivers. Well, here we are. That's exactly what I think about them 2 weeks in.
Josh, great stuff, man. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you next week.
Appreciate it, David.
Later, man. Josh Pate on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back with Jamie Morrison, who is getting ready to leave for his trip. Right now, we're talking about Aggieland hydration and injectables. When you go to a concert, Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan, Ice Cube, I don't know, they all did a fake concert together. Whatever show you go to, maybe you go to an all-day event, a festival, you have kids' sporting events, and you're outdoors all day and you're exhausted and you need a little quick boost of hydration. Let Aggieland Hydration and Injectables take care of you. They're Aggie owned and operated. They're a mobile IV hydration company that is going to take great care of you with the greatest services like, as I mentioned, IV hydration, Botox, and they also have some weight loss options for you as well. So if you're looking for a quick boost of hydration or a dehydration preventative, they can tailor that cocktail specific to your needs. On a busy weekend, an IV can also be the easiest way to ensure that you're receiving all of your necessary vitamins and minerals. And their overall mission is to bring a personalized and accessible wellness option to the broader range of clientele in the Brazos Valley. To book an appointment or inquire about their services before an event, you can call them or you can text them. 979-217-1561. Say hi to Sheldon and Danny for me. 979-217-1561. It is Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign. And they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks is good to be right. All right, let's get right into it. Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Jamie Morrison joining us to talk a little Aggie volleyball. Big game coming up against SMU tomorrow. Hopefully a bunch of Aggies will be there. Mr. Morrison, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well today, actually. Getting ready to go to Surf
today's
Fast, right?
Tuesday. I'm thinking today's Monday.
Tomorrow against TCU, I know. Time flies, I know.
Goodness gracious, man.
Trust me, we're in week 3. I get it.
Yeah, hey, so how are we feeling about things? Because I got to tell you, every time I see you guys on national television, it just makes my heart warm. It's just been cool to see. And, you know, we can get into the growth of the sport, but just watching your team, the way you play on the road in a hostile environment, really was fun to see, especially on national television.
Yeah, no, and I'll talk about us, and I will talk about volleyball a little bit. But I think both of those, and I think the one on national television in Utah, like, they got after us. But the Utah State match, I think it might not have been on that. But, man, that was a tough place to play. So a little gym, the student section's right on top of you, and probably one of the tougher stretches I think a coach has put their team through, and I just love the way that ours is responding. And then growth of the sport, I just got to point this out, too. It wasn't our match, but I think it was Kentucky-Nebraska. 1.2 million viewers today on ABC, and just it's huge for our sport that it's growing to the point where the numbers are starting to make TV, pay attention. And our what matches, the Missouri match got upgraded to ESPN2 because of it, but the sport's growing, and hopefully us with it.
Well, let's talk about that Utah State matchup, because there was a little struggles with consistency early on. What did you like about the way the team responded?
Yeah, I think we got into problem-solving mode. There was some stuff with the speed of their offense that was causing some trouble, and we kind of solved that. And then some out-of-system stuff where they were getting us in trouble, and we solved that. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, you look at the stats, and it seemed like it wasn't close. But again, that environment, I told everyone I felt stressed at the end just because it was constant fan noise, and they pushed. So I think it was just responses, and that's been kind of the story of our season, is we've been pushed in some different ways and found different ways to respond every single time.
Let's talk Maddie for a moment. We had her on our Performance of the Week as one of the people that we were discussing. 100 assists over 7 sets in Utah. Just talk a little bit about her performance and where she's trending.
I mean, she's trending up. She was out for a little bit of practice, too, and every single day is getting better right now. So I don't even think we've seen the best, and this is, really, really good. So I think, I've said it the entire time. You see all these lists of best setters in the country, and she's never on it. And she deserves to be. She can play the entire game. Her serve's upgraded this year quite a bit. She worked really hard and become a better blocker. And then there's just the ability to dish the rock. And she's one of the best at it. And we got a lot of weapons on this team, and she's figuring out the best ways to use different people on different nights. And you're seeing that assist total go up. You're seeing our hitting efficiency go up match by match. But she's doing a great job.
Logan is 7 kills away from 1,300 career kills. We know all about what she does on the floor, on the court. But can you give us a glimpse into what kind of leader she is, maybe on the floor and off?
Yeah, I think somebody on the TV interview just asked me how she came back different from USA, and I don't think it was volleyball-wise. I think it's a level of confidence that I think when she got that invitation to go to the national team, it was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And now she's like, no, I understand why now. And I think that confidence is shown up in the way that she leads, the way that she speaks, the way that she talks about herself, the way she talks to her teammates, the way she handles the huddle, all of that stuff. I think that confidence is being exuded, and that's probably the number one thing that's changed over the last year.
Let's talk about this week, because it's not an easy one. On the road, back-to-back, tough environments. Let's just first off look at it as the week, and then also just what you need to see.
Yeah, if you look at the week, I don't think, again, I said a coach, and this is a little bit on me and a little bit on, and I'm really happy we're doing this ACC-SEC challenge because I think it'll add some cool things on national television. But because it was Tuesday match and we had to piggyback another one, it's 4 true away games in 7 days. And I don't know if that's really happened. And again, I talked about the way that we've responded, and I think that's the number one thing we got to look at. But we got 2 really good teams. You got SMU, who's ranked 10th, and TCU, who's ranked 15th. And they do it for different reasons. I think SMU, you're going to see a lot of physicality. And the opposite that we're going to play, we actually played in the first round of the NCAA tournament. She was at Colorado State last year. And she's just physical. I think I said it last year when we played them. Like, what do you expect? I'm like a battle of 2 really physical opposites, and we got that last year. But I think across the board, we're a really physical volleyball team, and they're a really physical volleyball team. I think you're going to see that. And then we turn the page, and I was just sitting down studying TCU, and it's different. It's a lot of speed. They're going to try to not confuse you, but The lineup's a little bit different in the way that they're running it. So it's one of those things that's like, can we stay true to who we are, even though there's a flying circus on the other side of the net that's running around super fast, and they're good. And they lost one of their better players playing against Penn State, but still have like grounded out wins. And similar to us, I think just found solutions, and a lot of respect for both head coaches. It's actually interesting. Like they both coached at Baylor as assistants, and then the same year they both took both of these jobs, and they've both done an amazing job with their programs of developing them into the top 25 programs. So a lot of respect, challenges, but different on different nights. So we're going to have to almost be like when I was with the national team and just turn the page overnight and be ready for the next team.
Well, you mentioned 4 true road games in 7 days. 3 of those 4 against ranked teams. Like that's a gauntlet, man.
Yeah, that head coach, he's a doozy. It's a gauntlet, and some of it'll toughen us up for what's coming. And I'm going to keep saying this: our conference, the SEC, it's the best in the country, and you got 3 teams, almost 4 in the top 10, and we got more that are like knocking on the doorstep. Georgia's undefeated. I can't remember who. LSU had 2 kind of tough. One to SMU, lost in 5. But they're knocking on the door of being top 25 teams too. And across the board, we're going to kind of have a gauntlet when it comes to our conference. So this will prepare us for that.
No doubt about that. Do you like the idea in this kind of situation to have it back-to-back nights? Or would you prefer, I'd like to have a day in between?
I would love to have a day in between. Like, again, just studying TCU. Like, but this is also preparing us for the NCAA tournament. Because when we get there, it is back-to-back. You play on a Friday, Saturday, you play on a Thursday, Friday, and you got to prep for that second team, and they're going to be good. So it's actually one of the few reps that we get of, hey, we just got this morning to prepare for this complicated thing. So that I love. But it's always nice to kind of give your team a day to rest their bodies and rest their minds and then get going. So,
Jamie, I know you got a crazy schedule. Good luck tonight, and we'll talk to you here soon, okay?
Yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't say this. 6 o'clock tonight if you're up in the Dallas area at SMU, 6:30 tomorrow night at TCU. But I think one of the coolest things about our entire season is we're playing down in Houston. There was a lot of Maroon in the crowd. And if you're in the area, there's still a few tickets, I think, available for tonight. I think the TCU match has a few more available, but we'd love to see some more Maroon.
Love to get the Maroon and White out there. Thanks so much, Jamie. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Jamie Morrison on the Buppy's Catering Bartending Hotline. All right, we'll hit a break. And let's keep that win streak going. 8-0. Number 8 in the country, I believe. Highest ranking they've had. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back. We'll talk little Notre Dame football. Ryan Harris is going to join us. He played for the Texans. He played for several other teams. Won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. He'll join us. He played at Notre Dame, obviously. All right, if your organization or business is looking for an opportunity to engage with Aggies, then check out the Association of Former Students. They bring Aggies of all ages together during their marquee events held throughout the year, and we're talking some fun ones. Aggie Ring Day, All Aggie Hullabaloo, and The Gathering. They welcome tens of thousands of guests, and there are many sponsorship and vendor opportunities to get your brand in front of those attendees, and they offer a wide variety of both digital and in-person options to promote your brand, and these include title sponsorship, naming, on-site presence, and activation and recognition in social media posts, and much, much more. For more information on options available through the association, what you need to do is email sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. That is sponsorships@aggienetwork.com. And as a reminder, today is Pass It Back Day. It is their annual day of giving back in support of the Aggie Network, their 10th anniversary, tracing back to their roots as ex-cadets association formed in 1879, and the goal for 2025 is exactly that, 1,879 donors. Join us today and help them at Pass It Back here at the Association of Former Students. All right, we're talking about Burlebo, the heart of Texas, more than an outdoor lifestyle brand. It's products created with you in mind. Currently, I'm wearing the performance polo, the Texas Maroon and Gray. If you look into it, you've got the state of Texas in gray, and you also got it in maroon. It's one of their highest, most popular sales that they have there. It is really nice. Comfort and versatility. You can wear it in any situation. Quick drying, fits the size. But Burlebo, they're rooted in tradition, fueled by passion for the outdoors, designs high-quality apparel that works just as hard as you do. So whether you're hitting a workout, enjoying a day of fishing, or cheering on your favorite college team, their gear is made for the athlete, the outdoorsman, and the everyday adventure. And it's really nice.
I wore this one to church the other day. People talked about it. Really, my kids were like, yeah, Dad, you look pretty good today. From athletic shorts to your favorite go-to tees and performance hoodies, they have everything you want. Check out burlebo.com and find your new favorite gear. It's Burlebo for the athlete, for the outdoors, and for the family. All right, joining us here on the program is Ryan Harris on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, former NFL offensive tackle who spent 9 seasons in the league, including with the Texans and a Super Bowl championship with the Denver Broncos, and, of course, a Notre Dame alum. What's going on, Ryan? How you doing, man?
Great to be with you, and I want to say hello to Aggie Nation. Just had an amazing time when Notre Dame came there last year. I could not have been more impressed. Taylor Swift has nothing on you Aggies when it comes to a football game and how to celebrate.
Oh, that's very kind of you, and I'm glad you had a good time. I'm looking forward to my first trip to South Bend. And, it's interesting because the Aggie in me, I look at this matchup and I'm like, I feel like A&M is better than they were last year. I am not sure Notre Dame is better than they were last year. And winning on the road is so hard in general, been very hard for A&M. How do you kind of see this? Is Notre Dame better than they were last year? Do you think? Just give me your thoughts on how that part of it plays out.
I think you're accurate. I think that A&M is better with Marcel Reed at quarterback. He is really impressive in the way he throws the football and as well as runs the football. You got a good rushing attack. I'm not sure your defense is better. And to your point, Notre Dame has lost some key players. And one of them, at the quarterback position, they have a quarterback coming in for their second start. And then defensively, they've got some new pieces that have really struggled, especially the defensive tackles and the safeties. So both teams are at a new spot this season coming in. And look, Texas A&M has a chip on their shoulder for losing last year, and Notre Dame has a chip on their shoulder from losing to Miami. So this is going to be an absolute brawl.
Ryan, I look at CJ Carr, and I probably think more about the highlights and the lowlights of that game, but I was really impressed with his poise going on the road in an environment. And I was told leading into the season, it wasn't a guarantee he was going to be the starter, that he had some struggles at fall camp. So how do you kind of see the way he played and what that means long-term for Notre Dame? Ryan, are you there?
Starting quarterback. So hot out there in Miami. Also, the noise was insane. I mean, that was a party going on. Oh, you got me?
Yeah, you were gone for a quick second. Yeah, you're back.
Hello? You got me now? Oh, I apologize. No, I mean, CJ Carr got all the experience you want a quarterback to feel. I mean, he was on the road in the heat and really in an atmosphere that was absolutely wild. To add to that they didn't change the snap count, so he was under the rest the whole game. He learned a lot, and he made some big plays, and he also made some mistakes that he's already acknowledged. And the big thing in football and life is when you make a mistake, acknowledge it and improve, and that's what CJ Carr has done.
How surprising was it that Notre Dame did not commit to the run like we expected them to do? And I got to assume at home, Jeremiah Love, Jadarian Price, they're going to commit to the run against A&M.
Yeah, what they had was a couple of check with me calls that CJ Carr ended up just throwing the bubble screen as much as he wanted. And they addressed that. CJ Carr has since said that, he has to do a better job of understanding what his team needs. So I think there's going to be a few more designed runs. And unfortunately for CJ Carr, I think coaches are going to be a little more reluctant to give him that opportunity because of the game in Miami. The turnovers were brutal, and you gave Miami 3 points on turnovers, and that ended up being the difference in the game. So Notre Dame's a resilient group, a well-coached group, and one that has continued to succeed despite a loss in each of Marcus Freeman's seasons early on.
Ryan, what about their defense? I know they lost some guys. How's that defensive line? What's A&M's ability to maybe run the ball on them? And I know the secondary is fantastic.
Well, Boubacar Traore, the defensive end, is, I believe, the best in the nation. You got Jordan Pugh on the other side, too. And then the real weakness, though, has been at the defensive tackle position. And it's tough to simulate what an actual game is going to look like in terms of a double team. But let me tell you what Texas A&M is going to do out the gate. They are going to put as many double teams against the defensive tackles as they can after seeing them get pushed back sometimes 5 yards against Miami. So those players have to improve. Perhaps some personnel has to change. And I'll tell you guys, nothing's worse than when you lose a game and coaches come in and say, we're not changing anything. And you're thinking there as a player, you better change something because we're not doing it right. So I think that Notre Dame's going to make some changes, but I anticipate Texas A&M to try and attack the middle of the defense for Notre Dame. And you said it, the corners are the best in the nation. I would want Christian Gray on any NFL team that I was playing on. These corners are playing in the NFL, and you got some experienced safeties as well.
Talking to Ryan Harris here on TexAgs Live. Ryan, talk to me about what a night game is like in South Bend, because I've been to night games in the SEC. It's crazy. Am I going to expect a similar environment when I get to South Bend?
You cannot put the expectation of what you guys do at Texas A&M on anybody, let alone Notre Dame. It's going to be a fun environment, but it is something where it's going to be loud. There's lots of people coming, and no doubt there'll be plenty of Aggies running around in your Columbia shirts. I love it. I almost got one. But at the end of the day, for players, night games are tough because you're sitting there watching football all day. You drink 8 Gatorades, and all of a sudden it's time to go and be under the lights. But fortunately for Notre Dame and A&M, they're used to playing under the lights. You do love it when the game starts, but it feels like an entire year until you get to that first snap.
Ryan, I believe, I think I remember covering you with the Texans. I think you were there at the end of the 2012 season and the 2013 season. And then I know you played with Cougs back in Denver. So talk to me a little bit about Gary Kubiak. He's a great Aggie, and just your time with him.
Gary Kubiak's my favorite Aggie of all time. He has put together more championship careers and more careers for players than I think anybody will realize. I believe he's a Hall of Fame coach. And what made him so great is that he played the game. So he would always immerse himself with players. He would be honest with players, and he wanted his players to be accountable. And he had a fantastic offense, a fantastic schedule. He understood, and one thing schedule-wise he would do, he said, hey, after every 4 games, I'm going to cut the schedule down 15 minutes. And so that allowed us to get more body work as the season went on. And he just had the best way of framing things. I'll never forget when after we won the AFC championship, he calls us into our team meeting. He goes, guys, I'm going to give you 3 days off, and then I need your focus for 12 days. I need you for 12 days, and heck, I'll drink a beer with you. And he was right. He did. So he was the best coach, and he said something that no other coach said. He said, men, play fast. There are no mistakes on that field. If you make a mistake, that's on us as coaches, and we'll correct it the next day. Don't let that stop you. You play fast and let your personality show, and that's why we won Super Bowl 50.
And then I'll just close with another Aggie, if you don't mind. Von Miller was amazing in that Super Bowl and beyond. What do you remember about playing with Von?
The ultimate teammate. He was so skilled. He made everybody better. And A&M taught him a lot about farming, too. I mean, because he was a constant fan of the Aggies, always wearing Texas A&M stuff. Some might say that he, more than Johnny Manziel, brought Texas A&M back. But he made sure everybody knew when A&M was playing. And he was the most prolific athlete in his prime that I think the NFL has ever seen. What he did that season, especially in the Super Bowl, is something that me and the 52 other teammates will be appreciative forever.
Ryan, I appreciate this time, man. I hope to get you back on the show just to talk some college football in the future.
Hey, you guys aren't Notre Dame, but you're pretty close. I love you, Aggies. You are awesome people, a great network, and I'm cheering for a great game. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Ryan Harris there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that conversation. We'll come back, a little Association of Former Students, Pass It Back Day, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. When you're looking for a vehicle and you're like, I don't want to spend every dollar I have, guys, you should really consider looking at caldwellcountrychevrolet.com because they put all their cars on there and you can get a feel for the pricing. And they're stocking up on new vehicles at all the time, and their inventory is constantly growing. And the real deal is they are south of big city prices. They have no dealer add-ons. What you see is what you're going to pay. And they're locally owned, and an Aggie alumni team is ready to roll out the red carpet for you, and they have value. Every vehicle comes with free oil change for life. That's thousands of dollars in savings over the life of your vehicle. And their pre-owned inventory is moving fast, which means you'll get top dollar for your trade-in today. So don't wait. Those deals do not last forever. Remember, it's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryant to the beginnings of Caldwell. A short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, caldwellcountrychevrolet.com. And we're back. TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Pass it back day. Got Scott Walker in the house, the Vice President, Class of 90 from the Association of Former Students. Hello, sir.
Hey, brother.
What's up, man?
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming. And Lisa Cantu, Class of 24. What up?
How are you? Thanks for having us.
I went totally not formal. I went very casual. What up? Welcome to the show. Let's talk a little bit about Pass It Back Day. And just to remind the audience, Scotty, why is it so important? What is it?
Pass It Back Day is our annual day of giving. It's an opportunity to engage with the Aggie Network. Our model at the Association for fundraising is small gifts make a big difference. We engage tens of thousands of former students, parents, some current students, get small gifts from them and aggregate that money. And we use it essentially to fuel the Aggie spirit. We support student organizations, we support scholarships, we support faculty, staff, great traditions like muster and the Aggie Band, the Corps of Cadets. A lot of the things that make Texas A&M so special is only possible because of the generosity of former students and the work of the association. And so today we're just looking for engagement and awareness. Small gifts make a big difference.
They do. And I know we have a goal of 1,879 donors, correct?
That is correct. That is the year of our founding, 1879, the oldest organization raising friends and funds in support of Texas A&M University.
Lisa, how are you involved with Texas A&M and the association?
Great question. So I serve on their 1879 Society Ambassadors. So we are the tie from current students to our former students, engage with prospective students as well. I have been supported through the association through the Graduate and Professional Student Government. They host our grad camp, so welcoming all of our grad Aggies to Aggieland, to making sure that they feel connected to Texas A&M. So the association has just been a pillar of support throughout my time here at Texas A&M.
Why is it so important, especially in your shoes, for help from former students?
I think the support from former students, whether it be financial or their time, is really the reason why I'm here at Texas A&M. Senior year was a 2020 graduate, so while the world shut down, I didn't know where I wanted to go to school. Saw muster online and watching the Aggies being honored from the class of 2023, a freshman, the class of 1933. Hearing Aggies being supportive through those programs, through those missions, really makes an impact on the future of Texas A&M.
Scott, you can feel that impact even this weekend in South Bend, right?
Sure. If you go to an away game and there's a yell practice, which there always is, it was the Association of Former Students, our club programs team, that organized that. So we go where Aggies go, we go where Aggies are, and support traditions, support scholarships, support activities that, people I think sometimes take for granted that things are just going to happen. There's people that work behind the scenes to make those things happen. It's actually a little difficult to organize a yell practice because in most cities, you tell them, hey, we want to get a few hundred people together and scream at the top of our lungs at midnight in the middle of the city. That doesn't usually go over well. So there's permits involved and you got to find a space and all that. So, yeah.
So every dollar does help make that happen. And then this weekend, tell me if I'm wrong, Friday at 10 o'clock in South Bend, correct? So Friday at 10 o'clock to be a part of that. Every year, and this is actually kind of fun because it depends on which challenge, but you have class challenges. Let's talk about some of these challenges.
We have all kinds of challenges. So there's challenges for the class that donates the most or that has the most gifts. The clubs have a competition as well. New this year is a current student challenge in which there are golden tickets hidden around campus. And
like Willy Wonka?
Yeah, exactly like Willy Wonka,
Really?
minus the chocolate.
Right.
But yes, exactly like Willy Wonka. So there are state challenges. So we're trying to get at least $1 from every state of the union because there's Aggies in every state of the union. So
yeah,
tx.ag/passitbackday.
Tell me about the 10th anniversary challenge. What is that one?
Once we received 1,000 gifts, then it unlocks a special matching gift. So we have approached some donors, and they have agreed to put up certain dollar amounts that get unlocked when certain challenges are met. And so in honor of the 10th anniversary of Pass It Back Day, if and when we get to 1,000 gifts, it will unlock a larger donation from one of our former students.
Lisa, why is Pass It Back Day important to you? Because not only do you live the brand, I mean, this is a day that actually impacts. Why is it so important?
For sure. This is my third pass back day with the association, and I think it's so important just because there are so many Aggies who give for different reasons because they have been supported through the association. And so pass back day is so important because it's just a day that Aggies get together and really rally behind our mission to support current students and former students. So important because this is just who we are and what we do.
Scott, there's different ways that folks can help support the association, and Pass It Back Day goes to many different areas. Kind of give us a layout of that.
Obviously, you can make a gift of any size, $1, $50, whatever, $100, whatever works for you. But also, we have a one-day-a-year special where you can buy a past year bar for your Century Club plaque at half price. So you can get that for $50 instead of $100. But also, it's not just about making donations. It's about engagement and participation. And so we want people to engage with us on social media. We're on pretty much every social media channel out there. And, find our posts, make a comment, tell us what you love about the Aggie Network or how the Association of Former Students did something for you when you were in school. It is fundraising, but it is mostly participation, awareness, and engagement.
So for me, the buyback years is so important because when I got started in this industry in the broadcast journalism, I made no money. I was negative, right? So I had to take a couple of years off. So I always use this as an opportunity to catch up because I took some years off. And I got to also say, I don't ever answer my phone from a number I don't know, very rarely. But the association called me last week. I had such a pleasant conversation. It was like a 15-minute, we were just shooting the breeze. It was great. So when they call, answer. It is amazing. I didn't know it was them, and I answered just luckily, and it worked out. So how can people help?
tx.ag/passitbackday or find us on social media.
Do that, and make sure, if you're a listener of this show, you got to support the association. They support us so much. Thank you both. Appreciate you, Lisa and Scott. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having us.
All right, when we come back here on TexAgs Live, we're going to talk to Jordan Pugh. We're going to keep it real, talk about the Notre Dame game. We'll look back at the first couple of games in the season and certainly break down what happens next for the Aggies. Next on TexAgs Live. And we are back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studios. I walk to my desk here, and we go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. My buddy, Jordan Pugh. We're going to keep it real. What's up? Jordan, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. So I feel like oftentimes, you might have not an opposite angle that I have, but like when I'm happy about something, you're really good. Maybe it's the coach in you. You can point out where I shouldn't be so happy. And when I'm maybe not so happy, you point out some things that I should, hey, look at this though. So after
a good balance, a good equal balance.
Yeah, it's the yin and the yang. So after 2 games, how do you feel about this Texas A&M team heading to South Bend?
Ooh, okay. First off, let's start off with special teams. I think that we have an advantage in the special teams area, okay? I think our special teams is really good. We're buttoned up. We have explosive playmakers. You know about Bussy. You know about Casey returning punts, all that, right? So we got that out of the way. Okay, let's get into offense. I think that offensively, that's where our advantage is. The threat that we have in the running game with Marcel, that added piece. We know about Le'Veon. We know about Ruben Owens running the football, but adding that extra piece will keep the defense honest, right? Then you have the explosive playmakers on the outside with Craver, with Concepcion doing what he's doing, adding the tight end element. I think that will be big. Here's my concern. My concern is the front 7 play of our defense, especially on the defensive line. We still have not shored up a lot of the run game, especially the edge play when it comes to giving up big explosive plays. If you go all the way back to last year, I was thinking about this last night. If you go all the way back to last year, going to the Notre Dame game last year, first game of the season, it was a tight-knit, close game, but Notre Dame had about 3 to 4 explosive runs, right? That changed the nature of the game. Now, when you look at how the season ended, how we were giving up big explosive runs, missed tackles, all that, and now you take it into this season. We look at the first game of the year against UTSA. We weren't closing the edges off. We gave up explosive runs. We had a few explosive runs against Utah State. Man, I just think that's something, man, that's an Achilles heel of ours. I think that our secondary is played well. I think we've improved on that end. I think there's a few times we got a little bit lazy within the secondary portion, but just that front, I think that's going to be the game changer for us, or the game decider. Because if I'm Notre Dame and I'm game planning Texas A&M, Jeremiah Love is going to touch that football, and he's going to touch that football a lot. We're going to run a lot of outside zone. We're going to hit a lot of powers, a lot of zone read options, especially with CJ Carr at the quarterback position. So, man, if we can shore that up, if we can handle first and second down and earn the right to rush the passer on third down, I think that's going to be crucial for us, because we know we have the players who can rush the passer. We know we have the players who can get to the quarterback. That was evident last week, right? Now, if we can win those first and second downs, we can control the game from that standpoint.
So I simplified it when I talked to a Notre Dame former player, Ryan Harris, a little bit ago, and I said, look, to me, now I can't factor in what it's like to play on the road for A&M. They haven't won a road game since Auburn. I incorrectly said South Carolina, but same year, 2014, okay? Against the ranked team, I should say. But I can't simulate that. But to me, A&M is better offensively than they were a year ago.
Yes.
Okay, especially in that Notre Dame game, but in general from last season. Defensively, I feel like they're at least as good at linebacker, if not better. They are better at the secondary, in my opinion, so far.
Yeah.
And the D-line is still a TBD. Where they're not necessarily better is some of the misfits and some of the big plays. And they might be better, but so far we've seen that kind of show up. So that's to me. And I look at Notre Dame and I'm like, I think they're not better on the defensive line, but they might be as good. I think their secondary is stout. Offensively, their quarterback might have a higher ceiling than Riley Leonard last year, but I don't think he's there yet. So am I jiving with what you were thinking?
Yeah, no, you're saying it on point. So look, where we have the advantage is our skill, our offensive skill against their defensive skill. I think we have the advantage, okay? Overall, we look at the quarterback to the running back to the receiver, I think we have the advantage. Now, from the line play, I think that they have the advantage on the line play on both sides of the ball. Their O-line and their D-line against ours. I think that's where the advantage is. When you look at where we're better at, I think, like you said, we're better at the DB position. I think Scooby Williams is playing his butt off, man. The more and more that I watch the game tape, the way that he's affecting the game, him and Torian York are playing well together. The chemistry that they have, and they're comboing off each other real well. Here's our biggest issue on defense. And sometimes I think we get too pretty. Sometimes I think you need to let the dogs do what they do. Let them loose, let them off the chain, and let them get upfield and create chaos. A lot of times we're two-gapping a lot, and I think by two-gapping a lot, that's slowing us down from getting penetration. So how does that all correlate? That correlates because it gets us displaced from the fits that we need in order to keep the run contained. And when you have guys like Cassius Howell who are coming off the edge, man, guys who are explosive, you can use that against them, right? You can use their greatest strength against them. That's why I think, man, the emphasis this week in practice needs to be focused on first and second down play. Because if I'm Elko, I'm anticipating heavy run. I'm anticipating heavy 12 personnel, heavy 22 personnel. I anticipate them getting the ball to Jeremiah Love in as many scenarios as possible, right? So that's why the first and second down is important, being stout against the run. I think that you're going to see a lot more 8-man boxes from our defense. With a lot more rotational safety play. I think you're going to see a lot more gap control from our 2 interior linemen, but I think you're also going to see a lot more contained control from our ends. That's going to be crucial because you got to let Scooby and you got to let Torian York run the alley. I think if we can do that, we have the advantage everywhere else. I think with the upgrades we've made at the receiver position, we know what we have at the running back, but the key factor is of Marcel's legs. And the way that Colin Klein has been calling the offense the past 2 weeks, the way that he's been using the run to manipulate the pass, I think has been absolutely phenomenal. So now you're going to force Notre Dame into one-on-one situations on the back end. You're going to make them have to load the box because they're going to have to leave an extra player in order to account for Marcel, which means Craver and KC get to go one-on-one. And I think that's our advantage, right? So if we can shore up those things on defense, if we can continue to manipulate Notre Dame's defense with our offensive play calling, I think we have the full advantage to get a big statement win up there in Notre Dame.
So C.J. Carr was sacked 3 times. And I'm looking at some of Miami's players. I don't know how much you paid attention to that game, but Reuben Bain had, I think, a half sack, but he caused havoc all game long. The other defensive end who plays more where Cassius plays had a sack and a half. So how does Cassius's game, by the way, he just came off, the 3-sack performance in 5 seconds, which, was incredible to watch.
Miles Garrett tried to top him this week. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, of course. So, so how does Cassius's game or just the A&M ends game translate to what Miami was able to, what they were able to do?
It translates because we have when it comes to the pass rush, so let's do it like this. Pass rush wise, they won't be able to block us. All right. So when we get in a second and long situations, third, medium and long situations, that's our advantage because we can come off the ball. We can go with the best of them. As far as D-line, when it comes to Texas A&M, we produce D-linemen. That's one thing you never have to question with us. The biggest thing is getting to those situations. Right. So I keep harping on Jeremiah Love. Right. If I'm in the room with the coaches and I'm game planning, I'm looking for the initial runs, but also how do they get him the ball in the pass game? Right. In order to stifle what we have on the pass rush side, especially with our ends in particular, you got to be able to get them to move laterally and not get vertical. Right. In order to get them to move laterally, you have to run at them, but you also have to be able to have the back disperse out of the backfield too. Okay. So if they're successful in that, we're in trouble because we're not allowing our guys to do what they do best. Okay. So if we can manage the interior box, meaning if we can manage in between the tackles, that will allow Hal and those guys to be able to do what they do and be pass rush specialists. And that's where we gain the advantage every single time.
Talking to Jordan Pugh here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner Schulters in the Rollo Insurance Studio. All right. What about the big plays in particular that we're seeing to start the second half? Okay. So one, there was, against UTSA was a misfit and a missed tackle. You saw a 30-yard run against Utah State. What are you seeing in those plays? How correctable is it for this year?
It's very correctable every time that we get caught. So it goes back to what I said earlier. We're two-gapping too much with our interior linemen, right? Our interior linemen need to hit a gap, whether it's A or whether it's B. So if you go back, you look at the film, you see a lot of head up or two eye or 3-eye type shade. And we're two-gapping, allowing the offensive linemen to pin us, okay? When they pin us, they get up to the second level and they get to our linebackers, allowing the big runs to happen. Now, our safety's got to be able to clean that up, all right? They got to be the cleanup guys on those tackles. But when that happens, you can manipulate the end based off body position. Now opens up the hole with a lot of lead blocking. So you're looking at a lot of outside zones, the way that they pin us with our 3 technique and they get up to our backers. And those are opening up the run lanes. I think a lot of it has to do with just what we've done and what we've asked our guys to do defensively. I don't think it has anything to do with our guys being undisciplined. I think it has a lot to do with the call, the initial alignment, and not allowing us to get to our gaps on the snap. And I think if we make that initial adjustment, that changes everything defensively. We have the players to do it. We're not an undisciplined team. It's the small, minute things that a lot of people don't see that will open up the defense for us and have us be able to stop those run fits.
Beagle on the YouTube page, who's also a coach, says you got to win the first down. So back to your point about, especially with Jeremiah Love, how important is it going to be to get them in the 2nd and long and 3rd and 6?
It's huge. It's huge. You got to put your mind. You have to have the mindset of what Notre Dame sees on film, right? I see big plays. I see UTSA running all up and down on us. I see Utah State making plays on us, right? So when I see those different elements, I go, we're Notre Dame. We have pro offensive linemen. We have a 1st-round draft pick at the running back position. By getting the engine going with Jeremiah Love, that opens up the pass game. Now that opens up our RPOs. That opens up our play action. That opens up our boots and our waggles. Winning 1st and 2nd down will make them predictable. And if you make them predictable, that allows us to do what we do best, rush the passer. So we can win those 1st and 2nd down plays and get them to 3rd down situations where we know it's heavy pass, maybe heavy screen, heavy draw. We win those scenarios because Elko's defense can outsmart that. So that's why it's crucial for us, man, to win those first 2 downs.
Jordan, am I simplifying it too much again when I think I feel like when A&M's defense, you got your starters out there and they're like, all right, we're not playing anymore. They're really legit, right? Because again, the UTSA game, it was, it was a beatdown whenever they turned it on, right? It was 6 straight punts. Yeah. Against Utah State, it was 30-6. They had 1 drive, a couple penalties that kind of affected you, and then you started seeing backups play. So, is that making it too easy, or are these issues even with the starters, even when they're focused?
No, it's issues all across the board. So what you saw in the UTSA game, you saw the same thing. You saw the run fits where guys were exploding, and that was against our starting unit, right? When you look at the younger guys coming in, you understand that there's going to be mistakes that happen, but man, run fits are run fits. Those are assignment sound type plays. It wasn't a receiver making a guy fall in a one-on-one coverage, or it wasn't a guy just pancaking our guy in an initial block. It's a lot of just fit. And when we say fit, that comes to responsibility, right? One of the things, too, that we have to be aware of is this, and I thought UTSA did a good job of this. I thought they did a good job of manipulating the eyes, okay? So what I mean by that is when you have a lot of fullback set or tight end sets, and you have a lot of wham blocks or the guy coming back across the formation, it allows you or makes you slow down defensively, okay? Because you got to be able to account for that. I think a lot of times, too, getting us getting out of gaps was a lot of the eye violations that we had. Sometimes we saw too much. Instead of seeing our one responsibility, well, we saw this guy flash, it slowed us down, it opened up the play. Man, I just think that with everything that we're doing defensively, man, it just comes down to simply doing your job. So like you said, let's simplify it to a simple form, man. Football is a very simple game. They're either going to run it or they're going to pass it. That's all they're going to do on offense. And if we can understand to identify our keys, read those keys, and play fast, we will have the advantage. But we have to understand that 1st and 2nd down are crucial when it comes to winning this football game.
Do you think A&M is going to be able to run on Notre Dame's defense?
Yes, because the thing that we've established in the first 2 games is we've established outside threats. That's the one thing that we were lacking last year. And not only outside threats, but home run hitting outside threats. Not only that, we have 3 legitimate running backs, really 4, plus a running quarterback. When you add that element of a running quarterback, it affects the defense more than anybody knows because you have to account for him, meaning you have to take a man out of coverage so it opens up the pass. Once we get the pass going, it opens up the run because now you remove a man out of the box. So having the element of Marcel is going to be big, but most importantly, establishing the 2 threats on the outside have been absolutely crucial, and that's what's keeping the Notre Dame staff up at night. How do we stop those 2 guys from explosive play?
So Notre Dame folks, and I've talked to 3 this week, think they have the best corners in college football. Okay, so let's say
they're good. They're good.
Okay,
yeah.
So, but I believe that A&M's got four guys that they're going to have to try to cover, right? And maybe even beyond that. There's tight ends, too, that we haven't really seen use. So, all right, let's say they use their best corners on Mario and KC. What does that mean for ABR? What does that mean for Terry Bussey?
Yes, exactly. Well, that's the biggest question, right? When you see Craver and you see Casey, you know that you have home run hitters, all right? And you got consistent home run hitters. That's what they put on film the past 2 games. But, man, it boils down – everything boils down to Marcel, okay? When I know that I have a threat in the run game with the quarterback, that adds a +1, all right, in any run game. Then when I can add the RPO option on top of that, that forces me to play one-on-one. So now it's a one-on-one option to where they put their best guy on KC or Craver, for example. Terry Bussey gets one-on-one. Our tight ends get one-on-one. And we can manipulate the defense based off Marcel's skill set. So being able to open up the run, being able to have the skill guys on the outside for us, I think that's our advantage, like I talked about earlier. It all depends on this. I think Notre Dame is going to play ball control offense. They're going to keep our offense off the field because I believe they understand the threats that we have, okay? So we win the first and second down, we get the ball back. Once we get the ball back, the more possessions that we have, the more that we can get into a rhythm. The more we can get into a rhythm, the more we can manipulate Notre Dame's defense, okay? I anticipate Notre Dame playing a lot of man. I've been anticipating Notre Dame playing a lot of fire zone against us, dropping defensive ends against Marcel, mixing up the looks pre and post snap. But that's where Marcel's legs come in. Will they account for that? If they don't account for that, we take a full advantage of it all night long.
Jordan, what would a win signify for this program at this kind of point in time for what Coach Elko's trying to build?
I think this is the most important game that we'll play all year long, because going into the SEC play, what you're going to see with what Notre Dame has established, they've established a physical front, a physical football team. They've established an SEC style of play, right? What I've seen the first 2 weeks, especially defensively, is we still have holes in our run game. But if we can go up there on the road, primetime slot, I think it's a signature win for us, but it also establishes us and gives us some momentum going into SEC play. Because this is going to be your first true test, but this is going to be your out-of-conference test that matches what we'll see in the SEC. So if I think we can accomplish that and we can go up there and put our stamp on the game early, it gives us confidence moving forward. But now we have a game plan in order to match everyone else within the conference. And I think that gives us a leg up moving forward, not just from a standpoint of where people view us, but from a staffing standpoint when it comes to game plan and understanding what our team is. The staff does not understand who we are. Let me take it back. The staff doesn't fully know yet who we are as a team, and this is the first challenge that we'll get. So I think this is crucial, man. I think it's big for Elko, but I think it's big for the program overall.
Jordan, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for making a few minutes. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
All right. Appreciate him. When we come back, and he was on the Buffy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, we'll talk to Coach G, who's here in the lobby. We'll chit-chat a little bit about the last week and look ahead. Right now, Twin Liquors, your local home for wine and spirits and good vibes with over 100 locations. They are fantastic. Check out the website, and you're going to love what they do there. They have so many different options that you can get at Twin Liquors, fine wines and spirits. And one of the beauties is that they're from Texas, right? You can find them at most places, but here, especially in College Station. And they have big-time events. When you go there, you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of a lot of their sales and their events at twinliquors.com/events. That is twinliquors.com/event to get those. And as I'm looking for the other part of the copy, just make sure that you know this about them. They can take great care of you, whatever it is, for a cocktail fixing and a wine delivery. And they have the deals of the week there. They have also an excellent selection of wine and spirits and those in-store events, as I mentioned. twinliquors.com/events to find the nearest one by you.
I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar. I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going? You use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper, pure results. It's Catalyst. Now we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Coach G's in studio. Fish Camp game coming up on Friday. We're going to kind of look back and look ahead. How are you feeling, sir?
I feel great. Like I was saying in the break, here in College Station, if you can go all the way through town with all green lights and no medians, it's a great day.
He was in South College Station like 10 minutes ago, and he made it all the way here.
Yeah, unbelievable. So I'm feeling pretty bulletproof right now. So we know we got a big game on Friday. So I need to feel bulletproof going into that with the start of the SEC play. But honestly, we had a tough loss, our only loss of the season on Saturday or Sunday night up in Fort Worth, and but our players, they fought their tails off. I mean, they never backed down. They had calls against them and they didn't flinch. They just kept fighting. And for a team where we have 10 new starters out of 11. The one who came back, Sid Fuller, was awesome, saved a penalty kick. But it's so much of what success in college is the old college try, and we got that, and that's something that we know, that we've got a great defense. We have great people, and if they're going to fight, then we're in every single game, no matter who we're playing against.
To me, I feel like as good as this team has been this year, when your first loss just happened, you all will be better because it is 10 new starters, right? So as the chemistry does develop, am I seeing it the right way?
Well, and it's experiences together, because you can say, hey, remember when we did, and we overcame, and well, up until this month, we've never been able to do that because they haven't been together. They've been starring for other teams, but they haven't been necessarily here. And I can tell you, like I said, they've gone on the road, and now it's a reminder of, man, our field is our playing surface. It's nice that we have the best ag school in the world, in our back pocket, because our field, we played on 2 fields that were a little dodgy, and that's just the way it is when you go to other places. Didn't have a lot of the amenities that we're used to, and so it's a good reminder. Like, hey, we're back home. Let's make the most out of it.
And you went on the road and took on a really good team.
Yeah, number 4 in the country
with a fluky goal. So, there is that, right?
Yeah. Well, nothing to take away against a team that's ranked number 4 in the country, but it's just we deserved to not lose, and unfortunately that's one. But I think most people will tell you that you learn more oftentimes from a loss than you do from winning, because winning, you make some little bad mistakes and bad habits, but you win, you kind of get away with it.
Right.
Well, if one of those costs you, then now it's like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. We're going to correct A, B, and C, and I think that's what you'll see this week. Because the other thing that's nice for us this week is we go from a lot of 2-game weekends to now in the SEC we start with a single game weekend, which, as much as my players run and as much fight as they have, you need a little time to recover.
Rest, yeah.
And so now they've got from Sunday to Friday to kind of rev those engines back up, get ourselves on point, and then we're going to have a little bit of time before we have to go to Auburn next Thursday.
So what do you think was the biggest problem at SFA offensively?
We kept missing the target. I mean, we missed open goals. I mean, goalkeeper's out, goal is there, we hit it over the top. And it's just like, it's not like we don't work on this every day.
Sure.
So it's just a matter, that's discipline. That's just technical discipline to make sure that I'm not going, because a lot of times, at least the way our sport is it's a lot of it's about your balance. So if you can, like if I'm a tennis player and I'm going to follow through on the ball, I'm coming into it, I'm stepping into the ball. If I'm going backwards, now my weight is back, the ball is probably going to rise. Well, it's the same thing with this. A lot of times when you try to be really careful, you kind of lean, you unknowingly lean back and the ball goes over the top. So again, it's experience. You have to have that. Unfortunately, you have to go through that experience once or twice to perfect it. And I think that's what you'll see from our players, is that steadily we're getting ourselves in those positions to score. We had 25 shots on Thursday. We didn't score. That's a problem. But the shots on goal were better on Sunday night. Again, we had at least one that the goal was wide. Half the goal was wide open, and we missed it wide. But again, that's what happens when you've got 18 and 19-year-olds.
Right.
They've got to learn.
How about the equalizer from Leah Diaz?
It was big time, and it came from our defending, and the way we talk all the time about our superpower for our players is our ability to pressurize the ball for the other team. We talk about full court presses with basketball, very similar to the way that we want to play and where we want to press, where we're going to allow people to have the ball, but where are we going to apply pressure so that we can have an effect on the next steps of the game, which is our transition into attack.
All right, let's talk about number 15, Georgia, coming here. They're pretty good.
No, they're real good. They beat Carolina already this year. They lost to a really good UCLA team by 1 goal. They had a bit of a rough week, as well, in that they had a draw on the road against Clemson. Clemson's quality side, and they lost a game at home to Wyoming. But Wyoming, I watched that game last night, and Wyoming played great. I mean, they did everything they needed to do. They got fortunate on a couple things defensively that UGA.
It's a good program, right,
missed.
Wyoming?
He's done well. He's kind of turned that, and they're, as far as the Mountain West goes, they're right in the mix every year. So, but Kadani has done a wonderful job with Kadani McAlpine is the coach for Georgia. Came over from USC where he won Southern California USC where he won a national championship. Actually, the year they won the national championship, we lost to him in penalty kicks.
I remember that. Yeah,
our first time we had lost a game in penalty kicks in like 18 years.
So like 21, 22 in that range.
16, I think.
Oh, so it was that long.
Yeah.
Okay,
So anyway, he's come in. He's done a really good job of kind of closing the doors on the borders of Georgia, getting those kids, the best kids, to stay, and he's done really well in the transfer portal. So they're loaded with talent. They've got they've got a national teamer as their number 9, their striker up front. They've got a Denigan is number 10. Wears a headband. She's, I think, number 3 in the country in game-winning goals. So they're absolutely dangerous. The two eliminated us last year, 1-0 in Pensacola. So in a back and forth match, and they had just that one little edge that got the goal in. So having them here at home means a lot. Again, with it being fish camp night. So what people need to understand with fish camp is this is where we're reaching out to the student body. If you went to fish camp this year, or if you went to fish camp last year, or the year before, or you've been here for a while and you went to fish camp 6 years ago, just wear your fish camp shirt and you get it for free. And gates are going to open at 6:30. It's a 7:30 kickoff on a Friday night. We are a cheap date. Come on in. We've got food trucks. We got lots of fun. And again, I think there's some giveaways going on for students to Junior Aggie Club night, so those kids get in for free. And again, we need that energy. That energy helps us to keep our energy going against murderers row in the SEC. There's umpteen ranked teams in the SEC, and this is just one of them.
Coach G, thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you. Yeah, we'll come back. Jamie McCoy will break down the offensive side of things next on TexAgs Live. All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're going straight to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Jamie McCoy joining us at his new time here on the show. Jamie, what up?
What's going on, David? Happy to be here, baby.
Yeah, man. Hey, I was telling Nick at the break, I love that hat. Like, I'm kind of jealous of that hat. It's a nice looking hat.
Hey, you can go purchase this at one of y'all sponsors, ASO, Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Well, I'm going to get it. And I think I said hat 3 times in a sentence. That's the first time I've done that. All right, Jamie, this game against Notre Dame, right? Jordan gave us his thoughts earlier. We had Josh Pate on. He kind of broke it down. Are you leaning, because you're an Aggie, you're an optimistic Aggie, I think. Are you leaning towards A&M's going to go on the road and do what people don't think they can do? Or are you leaning like, man, I still got to see some more before I really buy in?
I would say I'm in the middle of both, because on one hand, I think they're going to go on the road and do what they need to do, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as that. I don't think we just go out there and dominate them. One, they're coming off of a loss and a bye where they've had nothing but 14 days of their coach yelling at them, saying what they need to improve on and how they can be better. So we got an uphill task in that. But at the same time, we haven't necessarily gone out and done what we need to do to look our best. So I think we're dealing with the same thing on the practice field and in the locker room with Elko, having to get our boys in shape and know, hey, these are the weaknesses y'all put on tape. You got to expect that Notre Dame is going to come out here and put it to the test, so you know what you're going to be uphill against. So I'm hoping that the guys know that, hey, we know what we're getting into, and we got to come out here and kind of beat the odds, defeat the odds, go against everything that you know that has been said bad about you. But I think we got the skill and the will to go out there and do that. So I think that we go out there and we show up to the test.
Jamie, Mario Craver's averaging 18 yards per catch. He's got already 236 yards receiving. He's on pace to have over 1,000 yards, which hasn't been done here since 2016. And I haven't even got to Casey yet. Casey's coming. But just like, I mean, we'll see what he does against that incredible secondary at Notre Dame. But just talk about this trajectory that he is on.
I think it's awesome. I mean, it's an astonishing stat to know that none of our receivers have gone over 1,000 with all of the talent that we brought into the team. But for Mario to be on this output so far, it's just a testament to, one, Marcel being able to get a new guy in and acclimated and get him involved, as well as we said KC. But at the same time, we still haven't even got to all offseason, all I heard about was our offensive line, all of our running back stable coming back. We haven't even hit the tip of the iceberg on what we can be on that aspect. So once we start implementing that run and teams start having to fill the box, I think it only does more for Mario as well as KC and Bethel Roman, not to mention Terry Bussey and all of the tight ends. Man, I really don't think the offense has even scratched the surface of what they can be. I'm anxious and excited to see this weekend. I think it's going to be a more balanced test, and it should be good on good. It shouldn't be any backups coming in unless somebody gets injured, which don't wish that upon either of the teams. But I think the sky's the limit for Mario. He's definitely shown that in the right offense and used the right way, he's a guy that you definitely have to circle on the play sheet and say, we got to look out for this guy.
Jamie, I look at this game, and depending on how Notre Dame wants to cover the Aggies, I have a feeling that, all right, let's say they put their best on our best, okay? That means Ashton Bethel-Roman or Terry Bussey is going to break out and have one of these huge plays that, to me, then adjust the way they cover A&M, and then it will open up potentially. And if you give Mario a little bit of an inch or KC an inch, he's going to make something happen.
Oh, yeah. I see it kind of happening the same way you just laid out. To me, it's a battle of against Miami. I don't think Notre Dame used Jeremiah Love the way that they need to, so I know that they're going to falter back and try to just run it down our throat. And then conversely, for us, I think that they think their DBs are good enough to handle our receivers. So I see Marcel having to put the team on his back and have a day. If they want to load the box, I kind of see it playing out how you mentioned. One of our guys makes a big play and makes them respect us. And then as we lose people out the box, we kind of implement our will. Again, I don't think it's just going to be a we beat them down and bully them. But I think we showed that we're not anybody. We're no slouch. We're not anybody to be ran over. And I think we put it on the map for the world to see that, hey, A&M is for real.
Jamie, the other thing is the deep ball revelation for A&M, right? I know one of them last week was from Miles O'Neal, but we just haven't seen A&M over the years really take a lot of those deep chances because they just didn't have the personnel to do it, and sometimes not the quarterback to do it. We're seeing them take those chances, and the Miles O'Neal one, which is not even Marcel, I thought was beautiful, but they have shown that they will go deep.
Oh, yeah. And that's all you got to do to put it in another defensive coordinator's head that, hey, I can't just sell out and try to stop the run and live with what happens. And in my opinion, with the offense that we have, we should be taking no less than 5, maybe even 5 to 8 would be a good range, but at least 5 deep shots a game, whether it be a post, whether it's a tight end over the middle or speedy guys on the outside. I think that we have to put that into our game, and all that does is open up the run game. You have to prove that we are a threat deep, and you have to respect it. And once they respect it and back up a little bit, just give us an inch. I think we take that mile with the run game.
You surprised that the tight ends haven't been a bigger focus yet? Is that maybe coming?
I think it's coming. I'm not surprised. Like I said, in the past 2 weeks, knowing that since we didn't have our big game to start the year, we're 3 games in, you've got plays, you've been working on stuff all summer, all spring, all training camp, but you don't necessarily want to put it on tape, because what does it do if you go out there and you get into this formation that you've been waiting to put on tape and the guys know exactly what to expect? So I think this weekend, defensively and offensively, you see some things from A&M that haven't been put on tape yet. And I think the same for Notre Dame. Granted, they've only played 1 game, but I think we've just been keeping some stuff in the chamber. And this weekend, it's time to unleash, and I think we do that.
Jamie, I appreciate your time as always, my friend. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you next week.
No problem. Gig 'em.
Gig 'em.
See you, David.
See you, man. Jamie McCoy there on the Buppies Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break here. We'll come back and finish up with Pass It Back Day, making sure everybody makes sure they buy those extra bars that they're missing from the past. All right, we'll do that on the other side. You are listening to TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers in the Rollo Insurance Studio. All right, guys, let's talk about some new partners, Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. They're Aggie owned and operated. They are an mobile IV hydration company that was founded back in 2024. I met with Sheldon and Danny over the last week, and they're awesome people. They really know what they're doing. They're proud to serve Bryan College Station with awesome services like IV hydration, Botox, and even some weight loss options. Whether you're looking for a quick boost of hydration or dehydration preventative, they can tailor an IV cocktail specific to your needs. And on a busy week, and I know some of you guys might be partying a little bit too much. If that's the case, an IV can be one of the easiest ways to ensure you're receiving all those necessary vitamins and minerals that make you feel better. Their overall mission is to bring a more personalized and accessible wellness option to the broader range of clientele here in the Bryan College Station and Brazos Valley area. To book an appointment or inquire about it, just call them up or text them. 979-217-1561. Again, it's Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. Check them out. It's our friends at Aggieland Hydration and Injectables. And we are back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. As you know, we've been talking about it all morning long. Pass It Back Day, the Association of Former Students' annual day of giving support to the Aggie Network, the 10th anniversary of Pass It Back Day. Today we have Cherie Prather here, class of 04, the Senior Director of Development, and Landon Johnson, class of 25, to talk all about it. Thank you both for coming in. Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for having us.
So, Cherie, just give us like a reminder why we're doing this, why it's so important.
We are in the middle of Pass It Back Day for supporting the Association of Former Students and our mission of supporting the Aggie Network. So as the association, we provide all kinds of services to current students, but also support for all of our former student programs, reunions, muster. We keep the traditions alive at Texas A&M.
Yeah, yes, we do. And just give us an update, because I know we have some goals, right? We got some things we want to hit. So how are we doing so far, a few hours into it?
We do. So right now we are about 330 gifts online that we are showing right now on our little ticker. And
we want to get 1,879
donors.
So we got some work to do.
We do.
We got till midnight?
Midnight tonight, okay. Yes. And we are just under $75,000 raised so far. So we have a little bit of ways to go, but I have full confidence that the Aggie Network will get us there.
Yeah, after the second morning coffee, people start making their donations. That's how it works. Landon, how are you involved with the association?
Right, so right now I am a student assistant for Porter Garner, the CEO and president of the association.
Our good friend Porter, yeah.
Yeah, Porter. But I'm also a student ambassador with the 1879 Society, which is the student ambassador program that we have with the association, bridging the gap between former students and current students, and just letting everybody know just what the association has in store for all students.
Well, kind of remind us what it has for students and what it has done for you.
Yeah, so whenever I got to A&M, I am a third generation Aggie. So the association, we've always had the association decals on the back of our cars, no matter where we were in the world. But as a student, I always saw it as the ring building until I really got plugged in with it and just found out how many things the association really does for current students. Because a lot of current students, will look at the association and say, oh, I don't need to go there, until I'm a former student. It's literally in the name. But the association does so much for current students in the ways of like scholarships. There's, places for organizations to meet in the association building if students can't get a spot, in the Memorial Student Center, just because, the population is so big and we have so many student organizations that you can't find a room in the Memorial Student Center. We have an entire building that you just have to come and talk to the association for, and you can just like get a room if you need to have a meeting or something. So the association is so helpful to current students and just in every facet.
And then how did you become aware of everything? Was it just by chance, or how did you like, oh, okay, and then you'll probably be the advocate. You tell all your friends, like, you should take advantage of this.
No, seriously, I actually got involved with a friend of mine, Ben Fisher, class of 24, and he really helped me kind of shine the light on the association for me. And just from there, it's kind of taken off. And I've just been looking for opportunities to get back to the Aggie Network. And you never know who you're going to meet at the association. I think that's the coolest thing ever. You could walk in and meet a Ag class of like 60, and then, you're talking to somebody about, what it was like back in Old Army. But then you might meet somebody who's going to be like class of 35, and they might have questions about, what do I have to do to apply for school, and what do I need to do to get into Texas A&M. So that's the coolest part to me.
Sure, that's why you all do this, right? It's for these kind of stories, success stories.
Yes, it is. And we love to support our old and young and future Aggies. And that's why we are here, and our doors are always open for everyone, not just former and current students.
So let's kind of go through again some of the challenges, because there's some fun ones this year to be involved in. Light Up the States. What is Light Up the States?
So we are trying to get a donation from every state in the U.S. Right now we are right around 22 states that we have represented so far.
Almost halfway?
Almost halfway. We're doing well. We're waiting for the West Coast to wake up, I think, and give us some gifts from out there. But we're doing well there.
And then the Young Alumni Challenge. That one ends at 9 o'clock tonight.
It does. Right now, class of 25 is leading the way with that. So way to go, class of 25. We need some of our younger classes to contribute to that as well.
And I think it's important too, especially with a huge A&M football game this weekend on the road at Notre Dame, for folks to realize like the association of former students impacts what it feels like on a Friday night when we go out of town and just what yell practice feels like. Talk a little bit about that, Cherie.
Yes, so wherever Aggies go, that's where the association is, and we support away football games, but we also have our Traveling Aggies program too that takes trips around the world, and we'll host Aggies in all kinds of countries. But we are always promoting the Aggie spirit and the traditions of A&M, no matter where it takes us. So.
And Landon, this is not your first time here, right? To remind the audience, the last time you were here.
Right. So last time I was here is about a year ago, and it was the week before ring day. And I was a senior in the Corps, getting my ring, super happy. And I got it now, so it looks real good on my finger. I sometimes just look at it and go, wow, it's really shiny. So, yeah, that was the last time I was here.
And you're an example of like, and many people are, they just don't realize it, but you're an example of somebody who not only has benefited from the association of former students, but you see it. You felt the impact. You didn't just, some folks just know it's there in the background. You've actually seen it happen firsthand.
Yeah, no, and that's been the coolest part. I mean, just like I said earlier, being able to walk into the association, you never know who you're going to meet. I've gotten to shake hands with, people that I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would ever get to shake hands with. And I mean, just being able to work for Porter every day and see him, I mean, he's just such a genuine guy and has so much wisdom and advice that, every day I go in there and I learn something new. It's just about living and being a good ag. Those opportunities are open for anybody, like any current student, former student, even future students. The entire summer, I was here working for the association, and I went to every new student conference. Just got to talk with them and be like, hey, the Aggie Network is here to serve you, even though you're not even on campus yet. Right. Like, go make an account. Go say you're class of 2029, and just go start connecting with people on Find an Aggie, because that is one of the most helpful things. People would come up and be like, so does the association and the Aggie Network really help with internships? I'm like, yeah, you can go to anybody, and Find an Aggie is the best tool for that. So it's really cool, just the massive footprint that the association has on current students, but they really don't ever boast about it. It's very humble, selfless service oriented, and that's, I think, one of the coolest parts.
Got to drop it there. Thank you both.
Yeah.
The website, tx.ag/passivebackday. See you tomorrow.